And we are live. What's good, Josh and Mandel? Saying, hey, trying to do it again. Gonna try to do it again here. And I know I started a little bit early, but it is what it is. Work with me on it, y'all. Work with me on it. Um, Waiting for the feed to kick in. I want to check the audio. Video looks decent. I want to see if I can hear. Audio is good, y'all. We are in business. We are in business. A little bit of a lag, but looks like I have more. Oh, just went down again. I might have to change the camera. I'm gonna let it ride. I'm gonna let it ride for now. If it gets worse, I'll change the feed from 1080 and I'll drop it down to 720. But right now it seems to be okay. Seems to be rocking. What's up? How y'all feeling? We're back. We're gonna pick this up where we left off, man. We're talking about Travis King. That's the private PV2 who ran across the DMZ into North Korea. Bro, this is a big story in America, man, and I don't understand why. Right? I don't understand why. Like, who, dude? So yeah, we're gonna start from the top on this, man, and we'll get back into all the notes I have from before. We got Scam Likely in the building, brother Dusto, man. What's good, fam? How you feeling, bro? How you feeling? Boom, that's for you. That's my guy. We be in these Tampa trenches together, bro. Out here in these streets, man. Yeah. Yeah, man. So this guy, like, everyone's talking about this young American who ran into North Korea. What are the North Koreans gonna do? America has to sit down and try to get him back and negotiate and do this and that. No, we don't. We don't. We don't have to do any of that. Let me go negotiate over there. Hey, send me over. Let me go talk to some North Koreans on behalf of the United States. I'm gonna go over there with some paperwork. I'm say, hey y'all, hey North Korea, do me a favor. Give Mr. King these papers. Those are his discharge papers. The man is a deserter. He's no longer in the United States Army. However, he is still a citizen of the United States of America. And this dude over here to my right is with the State Department. Y'all can go ahead and talk. But as far as the military is concerned, yeah, we're done. That's what I would do. that's what I would do. Yes, sir. We're back. We're back, brother. Jack Black. Wait, yes, sir. Young Knight. We are back, man. We are back. We're gonna do this thing. So, I don't get all of the hubbub. I don't get it. So what? He chose to run across. Like we said, man. The guy. I pulled up a couple articles. While we were waiting to restart, and we're gonna read one of the articles. Yeah, man. Like, this dude did have problems, man, but it was behavioral problems. This is just, again, it seems to me that here's a dude that's a spoiled American, not understanding how the world works. Right. And I'm, instead of getting on a plane like he's supposed to, coming back to, to America so he could be out processed or whatever's gonna happen, he decides to go to the DMZ unauthorized and run across the border. Like, I was talking to my man Jay Swans about it. Like, yeah, bro, sounds like the ultimate temper tantrum to me. It's like, bro, I gotta agree with you, man. Watch this. I'm gonna do this and watch. You guys will be sorry. Nah, bro, you'll be sorry. Like, the last dumb American to mess with the North Koreans came back. It wasn't good, bro. It wasn't good. When they got him back, it wasn't good. I mean, I don't understand. I just don't understand. Maybe that's a millennial thing. I just don't understand, bro. So we're gonna get into let's get into the story itself, man. So this is from the Associated Press. And this talks about tourists who saw a U.S. soldier sprint to North Korea initially thought it was a stunt. And this was today, published this morning, 7:10 a.m. And this is out of, Wellington, New Zealand. Sarah Leslie thought she was witnessing a stunt when she saw an American soldier start sprinting towards North Korea. First of all, here's the thing. He was in civilian clothes, so he wasn't wearing his uniform, right? He wasn't wearing his uniform. But a lot of people, people know now that he, is a U.S. soldier. And even his status as a soldier was probably, he was in the final stages of his career. Let's keep it 100. They were flying him back to the world, to Texas. He was going to get out process. We was, for what he had done. We're going to get into this. Leslie and her friends, and her father, tourists from New Zealand, were part of a group that left Tuesday morning from Seoul to visit the demilitarized zone that divides South and North Korea. PVT, Travis King, was among the group of 43 tourists. And this is what Leslie told the Associated Press. Although he was casually dressed in jeans and a t-shirt, and she had no idea at the time that he was a soldier. See, there you go right there. Or in legal trouble. He was in military legal trouble, right? So he wasn't facing a firing squad, bro. He wasn't looking like 25 years to life, man. He was just going to get out processed, all right? I mean, that's just the bottom line. Scam likely a fool. He's like, call Dennis Rodman. They're going to have to call somebody, bro. They have to call somebody, right? So King, 23 years old, was a cavalry scout with the 1st Armored Division, who had served nearly 2 months in a South Korean prison for assault. He was released on July 10th and was supposed to travel home Monday to Fort Bliss, Texas, where he could have faced additional military discipline and charges from the service. All right, so looking at that, right, that tells you a whole lot right there, right? So you got a guy who, like this brother right here, right, spent nearly 2 months in prison. I didn't know he was in jail that long in South Korea. He spent 2 months. So I'm wondering if he went through he had to have gone through the whole process. Like he committed a crime, he was caught, he was charged, had a trial, and was sentenced. That's what it sounds like to me. For something he did in South Korea. Bro. Now, granted, South Korea is a lot different than it was when I was there. I was there in 1993. I went back, maybe 10 years ago now. I was back in South Korea. We were in South Korea, Japan, and China. And yeah, it changed a lot. I was, we had a driver that was driving us around. And even the driver was like, hey, do you know where you are? We were driving around, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, yeah, I think Yongsan, Maine is that way. The base is that way. And I was right. He was like, yeah, you're right. The base is, right down there. But everything looked different. Like Itaewon, when I was in, was the hood. Now, Itaewon is a nice, gentrified, really nice neighborhood. Like, wow, soldiers don't need to be around there. It's like having a military base just outside of Westwood in LA, right? It's like, right down the street from Beverly Hills or something. No, I was like, yo, it changed a lot. So yeah, I'm checking that out. And I was surprised that I could remember, like, yeah, it's over there. And the guy was like, yeah, you're right. It's down there. But as we were driving, the entire landscape changed. Like, I'm just looking at these like cafes and little boutiques, and all this completely changed. So when I was if you were in Itaewon, everybody was fighting. Americans were fighting. The locals were fighting. Like, soldiers would fight each other. Soldiers were fighting Marines and airmen and Navy guys. Everybody was, it was typical military neighborhood, right? It was crazy. Get off base, go over there, you get cheap drinks and all this kind of stuff. That's the first time I ever saw a Yakuza, right? I was like, it was Japanese gangsters over there. I'm like, bro had a lot of tattoos and he was missing some parts of his finger. Like, that's you. Someone was like, ask him. Like, I ain't asking him nothing, bro. I'm not messing with dude. Wearing a black suit and everything. I'm like, that's Yakuza right there. So it was what it was. If you got into a fight, the MPs came. If the local police got there first, they would just hold you until the MPs came, and then the MPs would take you away. That's just how it was. So whatever this dude was doing, this young man got into something serious enough that he spent almost 2 months in a South Korean jail. Like, bro, that must have been real. That must have been real, right? Whatever it is he was doing. So you got that. This guy was 1st Armored Division. So this dude like is combat arms. Combat arms. He's a scout. Right? Combat arms. That means that dude spent a lot of time on the range, spends a lot of time in the field, and there's a bunch of other weapons he will be familiar with. He's going to be familiar with his individual weapon, of course, your M16 or whatever, but he's going to also be familiar with the M203. He's going to be familiar with Squad size weapons, when we were still using the SAW. I don't know what they're using now. We had the M60, so I was familiar with the SAW, the M60, the 50 cal, the M1. You know what I mean? The M2, that Mod Deuce, baby. That same 50 cal that we were using in World War II, we still use today. And so I was familiar with all those weapons, hand grenades, mines, anti-personnel mines, like claymores, right? What else? All sorts of small arms. I was familiar with that. 9mm, 45. I was familiar with that. I remember once in Korea, I had I had guard duty with a 38. He put me on guard duty with a 38, man. I'm like, the Army still has 38s. It was crazy, bro. 38s and only had the 6 rounds, bro. He didn't even have any extra rounds, man. I'm like, man. And I was guarding ammo. It's like, bro, I ain't like that at all, but it was what it was. That's the Army. And then, of course, I was also, towards the end of my career, I was really familiar with the Mark 19 semi-automatic grenade launcher. It was automatic, not semi, it's automatic, full auto grenade launcher, Mark 19, MK19. So this guy would have been trained and cross-trained in a bunch of weapons, bro. Like a bunch of weapons. And you would have to be proficient. So, people are trying to say, well, maybe he had issues. Like, well, if he had issues, why would we train him up? You know what I mean? Yeah, he was a cavalry scout, 1st Armored Division. Crazy. Leslie said her tour group went a step further with than many by visiting the joint security area in the village of Panmunjom, allowing tours to effectively step on North Korean soil inside one of the buildings, which is jointly held. Okay, so in the DMZ, there's a building, right? There's a building that's on the border. When you go inside the building, the line that separates the two countries is inside the building, right? So I guess they went on a tour, maybe, a little extra tour where you can actually put your foot on the other side of the line. You were like in North Korea. I wouldn't even do that. To be honest with you, I'll just in case a North Korean jumps up and starts firing or something like that, which I'm just kidding you, that wouldn't happen. But this tour seems to be like, better than the average tour. So this guy was on that tour. He kind of got into that line, loaded up on their bus. Didn't someone take a head count? I mean, was he allowed to pay for a ticket once he had already boarded the bus? I wonder how that worked. And you would think like, okay, we're supposed to have 50 people. We got 51. Oh, maybe somebody made a mistake. Wouldn't you want to check that? You know what I mean? So whatever, like we're only going to the border. You would think that would be highly secure and the head count would be important. Like we're not going to drive off until we figure out who this other person is. If anything, just to get the money. Like, oh, we're going to need you to pay. And maybe he did. Maybe they did that. He was like, oh, I'm sorry. Here's the money. He paid. And they were like, okay, you're good. Let's go. But I mean, that's kind of loose. Brother Pitney's in the building. What's good, fam? M249 is no joke. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Tons of weapons out there. And this guy would have been familiar with all these weapons. How does double jeopardy work with overseas arrests? I don't think it plays a role because UCMJ, Uniform Code of Military Justice, is separate from the civilian military. So, I don't think I think the civilians deal with you and then the military deals with you, right? I think that's how that works. But, I don't know for sure, bro. But I think that's how that works. So if you're in some host country as a U.S. service member and you commit a crime, I'm pretty sure the rules are worked out between the U.S. government / military and the host nation. It says, yeah, we'll produce this soldier, sailor, Marine, airman, or space person, because we got Space Force now. I don't know what to call them. Right? I don't want to call them space cadets because that's bad. I don't want to, knock them. But I think they'll just, here you go. And then you have to go through that process in that country. And I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a process for that too. Like they're like, the military, the people there the military is not going to give up soldiers if they know that the system is really corrupt and, the soldiers is going to get hurt or whatever. In that case, they would probably say, well, we'll just discipline them ourselves to make sure, that they get the appropriate punishment. But we'll have to talk to a pro about that, man. That's a good question. Brother Pitney, he was like, this guy has UCMJ violations falling out of his ears. Yeah, bro. Uniform Code of Military Justice, bro. Yeah, this is a knucklehead, bro. If there's something worse than a dishonorable discharge, he's about to get it. Facts. I mean, I would process the paperwork, but done. He's already out the army. That's what I would do. I mean, because he's AWOL right now. He's a deserter, right? Maybe even someone who is trying to, you know, leave America. I mean, and like, dude, you're a deserter. Like, you're trying to, hey man, I'm seeking asylum in North Korea. Like, what? I'm a defector. I want to live. I want to be in North Korea now. What? He's all kind of ate up, bro. He's all kind of ate up. So yeah, I would just process him out right now. I was just like, all right, he's done. In absentia, whatever, just boom, he's done. He's out of the army. He's a U.S. citizen. No longer has dishonorable discharge, blah, 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 done. That's what I would do. I wouldn't even worry about it. But it was crazy. So the group, let's see, they left Seoul by bus in the early morning, and then Leslie knows the king was traveling alone and didn't seem to talk to others on the tour. At this point, she said he bought a DMZ hat from the gift shop. So dude had money. They been locked up. That's funny. He'd been locked up all that time, and like the army was still paying him. So he gets out. He has money. Like he has his debit card or whatever on him. He's supposed to be getting on an airplane. Why didn't the MPs ensure that he got on the plane? First of all, I think those MPs are going to get in trouble. They just put him in line. They're like, all right, bro, bye. I would think the MPs were like, let's make sure you put him on the aircraft and stand there until the door shuts, right? So they stand outside in the jetway and make sure, all right, the doors are closed. He's good. They just kind of put him in line, it looks like, and, the rest is history. And Scam Likely is saying he's a passport, bro. Man, you a fool. You a fool, bro. Wow. Yeah, and like Brother Penny, like, what idiot leaves a free country to live in a communist police state? An idiot who doesn't know. There's a lot of people who just don't know, bro. Like, we talk about how Americans are uneducated, bro. This is what I'm talking about, man. This is how bad it is, bro. This is what it looks like. Why? Of all the nations, why? North Korea has to be on the list of countries I never want to step foot in, let alone run to. Like, how bad must it be in America for this guy in his mind to run to North Korea? Just a dumb idea, bro. Just a dumb idea. So, she said the tour was nearing its end Tuesday afternoon. The group just walked out of the building where the milling about taking photos when she saw King running really fast. So they're all ready to, get back on the bus. They're just ready to, go home. And then she says, I initially assumed he had a mate filming him in some kind of really stupid prank or stunt, like a TikTok, the most stupid thing you could do, Leslie said. But then I heard one of the soldiers shout, "Get that guy," right? And I heard this story before, like, yeah, soldiers were shouting. I'm like, what South Korean soldiers wouldn't be screaming in English, would they? So then I read this, and Leslie said the commands would shout about an American soldier, one of a group that patrols the area along the South Korean troops. So along with South Korean troops. So it was a U.S. soldier who saw it, like, yo, get him. And of course, I would imagine that the South Korean soldiers who are on the DMZ speak English, like at least conversational English, working with the American soldiers on the DMZ. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have just rock soldiers up there not speaking any English. I would imagine that those soldiers are highly trained, and those dudes, because they're really tall, they're really big. Some of the biggest Koreans I've ever seen. Those are the guys who serve on the DMZ, and it's done for a reason. They want to intimidate the North. Like, you got the North put their biggest guys, tallest guys up there. But look at the pictures of the North Korean soldiers, bro, and look at the South Korean soldiers who are standing there. South Koreans are like corn-fed, ready, like, the biggest Koreans you ever seen in your life. Uniform, sharp, glasses on, looking menacing, right? They lined up with a wall, so like the wall is here, and like they're like halfway on the wall, and they're standing there. And they do that on purpose, because you look at the North Koreans like, man, they look like they hungry, and the South Koreans look like they just got finished eating a turkey or something. Like, bro, they ready. So you have like their sharpest, their toughest, their most highly trained soldiers on the DMZ for a bunch of reasons. And I'm pretty sure those guys speak English. I could be wrong, but I doubt it. I think those guys speak really good English. So American soldiers like, hey, get that guy. And all the Koreans probably looked over, but it was probably too late. So, yep, and it says it right here. But the soldiers didn't have time to respond. She said that after running about 10 meters, about 30 feet, down a narrow passageway between the distinctive blue buildings, King was over the border and then disappeared from sight. It was all over in a few seconds. Makes sense. Makes sense. It's like boom, poof, gone, just like that. He's running top speed. He's infantry. He's a young guy. PT is still a real thing in the Army. They still PT you. So the guy will have some wheels, right? So it wouldn't take him long to run 30 feet into North. And he's in North Korea. There's no gates near. He's at the part of the border where there's no wire, no gates, where literally at the border. So yeah, I can see that. I can see that. He said Leslie said she didn't see any people on the North Korean side. The tour group had been told earlier that North Koreans there have been laying low since the outbreak of COVID-19, the pandemic. After King ran, she said the soldiers hustled all of the tourists into a building and then took them to an information center to give statements. She said many of the tourists, including her father, hadn't seen King run, but the soldiers explained the events to them. So this is like, people were talking about this story. And this is, one of the eyewitnesses accounts from a New Zealand woman who was there. She said people really couldn't quite believe what had happened. Quite a few were really shocked. Once we got on the bus and got out of there, we were all kind of staring at each other. Like, they're all sitting around like, can you believe that happened? And, like I said, she's like, it happened so fast that some people in the group didn't even see it happen. She saw it. She happened to be one that was sitting there, and she just happened to see dude and saw him run off and heard him laugh, and heard the other soldiers say, hey, get him. And she saw all that, right? So I'm pretty sure she was debriefed. And by that, I mean, they just sat her down. They were asking her, what did you see? Because, the people up there, all the military guys are like, this is going to be a headache. So they got to go get all this information. They got to get everyone's name. They're going to, it's just like, I can't believe this, man. This stupid leg just made all this work for us. And leg is a non-airborne personnel. So that's what airborne guys call the people who aren't airborne. We call them legs, right? For a reason, because they do stupid stuff like that. Not to say that airborne guys don't do stupid stuff. We do. You know what I mean? But boy, oh boy, this leg right here. So, and then it goes into why she was there. She has an interest in Korea. Like, she studied North and South Korea and she watched movies. Like, that's why she was there on this particular trip. So that's that. Bro, what was this dude thinking? Again, I think Jay Swans hit it on the head, bro. He hit the nail on the head when he said that this guy just threw a temper tantrum. Like, here's a dude he knew, like, man, that's it. My military career is over. I'm pretty sure that whatever he did to get locked up in South Korea wasn't the first time he'd been in trouble. Most people stay in trouble. Like, you get people who they just stay in trouble, right? They get into the military, and here's the thing, man. Like, the military to me was an amazing life. I always wanted to be a paratrooper. I accomplished my dream by becoming a paratrooper. But once I was in the military, and I mean, it really changed my life. Real talk. I mean, you can take advantage. Now, here's the thing. You need to take advantage of the military because they're certainly going to use you up. Uncle Sam had no problem getting everything out of me, right? No problem letting me jump as much as I wanted. No problem sending me on tough missions. No problem risking my life. It was part of it. So Uncle Sam, United States government was going to get 100% from me. So I needed to get 100% from the United States government, from the United States Army. And I did. Right. Scored high on my ASVAB, was offered a great job as an air traffic controller, guaranteed me airborne training. I got to go to Fort Bragg, North Carolina, where I spent the majority of my time. Had a great time. I got to work with soldiers from all over the world. I got to work with the best American soldiers. I'm talking about, LERP guys, Rangers, Green Berets. I got to work with those guys, go on missions with those guys, man. That's the best mission you ever want to be on, man. You go on a mission with SF, bro. They have you walking away thinking you Jason Bourne or somebody, bro. Those are the missions you want to go on. You go on a mission with Rangers, man, they shoot and blow up everything they see, man. That's so much fun. Like, bro, Rangers don't play around, bro. They don't play. I mean, it's kind of great. We were out doing some training mission, man. We wound up linking up with some LERP guys, right? Long range reconnaissance patrol dudes. They had us doing stable stuff, man, practicing stable extractions, which basically you strap yourself to your buddy and then y'all strap yourselves to a rope, and that rope's attached to a Black Hawk, and they just kind of pick you up and you guys just kind of fall underneath. So Dopes on a rope is what they call this, man. We're just up there, stable and just flying around the bottom of a helicopter, man. That's the best ride ever, bro. Best ride ever. And this is how they insert and get themselves in and out of missions dealing with these LERP guys. We were just out for, they were just fun. Like, oh, the LERP dudes are over there. What are you guys out here doing? Oh, we're just training. You guys want to stay, bro? Sure. So we went out there, did the things, like, hey, Jay Swans was on that mission. Yeah, Jay Swans was out there. You know, we were all out there just dopes on a rope, just hanging on a rope attached to a helicopter, just flying around. Like, bro, that was crazy, man. Crazy. So, yeah, whenever you go and do some missions, man, like if you were, when I was in, we were in Bragg, man, you're working with the best, bro. And not just the best Americans, man. I went on missions with Turkish soldiers, been on missions with, well, I've met and linked up with French foreign legionnaires. I've been on missions and kind of hung out and was drinking with Scotchmen. Well, they were from the Scotch Dragoons or something like that. All these dudes were, man, these dudes were incredible. They're incredible, man. They just drank nonstop, man. He kept telling us how bad our beer was. This was horrible beer, mate. But they kept drinking it. He just kept drinking it. These dudes would drink up all the beer and be up a few hours later, man. It's old dark 30, and these dudes are ready to go into the woods, man. They're ready to go down range. I'm like, how does your body work like that, bro? Training with the best. So the United States Army was an amazing thing for me, and that led to my career in the FAA as an air traffic controller, Federal Aviation Administration as an air traffic controller. I got nothing really bad to say about the Army. Yeah, I went through some bad stuff. I had to deal with some stuff, but it was nothing so bad in the Army that I would want to run to a place like North Korea, or I would want to run to, Iran or Iraq, or I would want to run to Russia or Afghanistan. I mean, that blows my mind. Like, I just can't imagine what this young dude was thinking, but Jay Swans was right, man. He had a tantrum. You guys just watch. You watch. And we live in a country where everyone's like, what are we going to do about this U.S. soldier? I would correct him right now. He's not a U.S. soldier. I'm like, look, dude's not in the Army anymore, right? He is a deserter, right? He was AWOL. He was a deserter. We know he ain't coming back anytime soon. We processed him out. He is not a U.S. soldier. He is not a part of the United States Army. Why aren't we doing that? That's what we should be doing, in my opinion, bro. Why aren't we doing that? So, like, how did dude find himself in South Korea? You know what I mean? So, as an infantryman, mechanized infantryman, a lot of that has to do with recruitment in America. I read these stats on the last one. And guys were asking me what happened to the last one. I dumped that stream, bro. It was hard to watch, and it was real glitchy, and like even with the voice. So I just dumped it, and we're just gonna have this one. So, but in that last live that we tried to have, I went over these figures, bro. And these figures are crazy, man. Like, let's pull it up to the big screen, man. Like, look at this. These are the recruiting challenges that America is facing today. And this is from an Army website. This is from recruiting.army.military, but all branches are having issues, right? But in the Army, their recruiting challenges, they have a few here. They talk about the labor market, most challenging labor market since the inception of the all-volunteer force. So, a lot of people are finding jobs, right? Unemployment numbers are real low. There's, if you live in Florida, if you're anywhere in America and you need a job, come to Florida. You will get hired tomorrow, right? You'll get hired today and work tomorrow. There's everywhere I go, there are help wanted signs all over Central Florida. And I drive from Central Florida to South Florida a lot of everywhere I go, from Sarasota, Fort Myers, Fort Pierce, Palm Beach, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, help wanted signs, bro. And I'm talking about outside of factories. I'm talking about if you want to get into the food service business or whatever, there's work in Florida, guys. So if you're somewhere in America and you want a job, come to Florida. They got one for you. So they talk about awareness. They say 50% of youth admit they know little to nothing about military service. 50%, half of the kids out there know nothing about military service, bro. That's huge. That's huge. I want to say it one more time. 50% of youth admit they know little to nothing about military service. It's a problem. Now, I'm pretty sure it breaks down differently from different bubbles, different neighborhoods or whatever. But 50%, these kids it's not even a viable option anymore when you're in school. Like, not even getting a commission, like not even ROTC. Like, half of the kids don't even know. Man, that's a problem, bro. That's a problem. And then there are qualification issues, right? I'm gonna put this on the screen so you guys can see it. 71% of youth do not qualify for military service because of obesity, drugs, physical and mental health problems, misconduct, and aptitude, right? That's crazy. 71% of youth today don't qualify for the military because they're too fat. They're on drugs, i.e. probably marijuana is probably the biggest killer, but there's kids out there on fentanyl and everything else. Physical and mental health problems, right? Misconduct and aptitude. And I think under misconduct, they're talking about breaking the law. They probably have records. Like, you can't get into the military if you've got felonies. And, when I was getting in, there were ways around it. But I think today they're real stringent on it. Maybe not. But, and aptitude, most of these kids today they can't pass the ASVAB, right? The Armed Forces Aptitude Battery, I think is what it's called. Armed Forces Aptitude Battery. Yeah. They can't pass the test to get into the military. Everyone has to take the ASVAB, and based on your score, that determines what the recruiter or what the military can offer you as far as field. So if you want to get into aviation, or you want to get into the medical field, like maybe an X-ray tech, or you want to be a medic or something like that, or you want to be an engineer, you want to be a combat engineer, you want to be a helicopter pilot, you want to be whatever. The jobs that you're offered are based on your scores on that test. So most of these kids are scoring really low on that test. Think of it as an entrance exam, right? SATs for the military, right? So they're scoring really low on these tests. So they're not being able to get the high-tech jobs, right? The Navy will train you to be basically like a nuclear tech. Like, the Navy will train you to work on nuclear reactors on their submarines and other things like that, right? If you score high enough, the Navy will teach you that. I have no idea what that costs in the real world, but you ain't got to pay for that training, right? The United States Navy will train you up on that. But you got to score high enough. I scored high enough to be offered a job as an air traffic controller. It was 93 Charlie was the job identifier when I was in. It's something that's in the 18 series now, I think, or it's a different number. But that was my MOS, 93 Charlie. And just 93C. And that was air traffic controller, tower, and radar. Right? It was because I couldn't believe they were offering it to me. And even the recruiter, I'm like, yo, the Army has that. And he was like, I guess so. So he's like reading up on it real quick because he knew I was going to get up. I wanted to be an MP, but I wanted to be airborne. I wanted to be airborne first and foremost. That's it. That's all I wanted to do. And they told me that, being a paratrooper is not a job. Like, well, it sounds like a job to me. You jumping out of airplanes, fighting people. It's like, yeah, but it's a qualification. You pick a job. Like, well, my dad was an MP. I'll be an MP, military police. Okay, we can get you in as a military policeman, but we can't guarantee you airborne training. And I already knew that trick. Oh, they just get in and, apply for it later and you'll get it. Like, no, I won't. No, I won't. I need that guaranteed in the paperwork, player, or I'm not doing it. So I was kind of sitting there like, oh, I guess I'm gonna have to get up. And then he offered air traffic control. He's like, yeah, man, you qualify. And I'm like, can I get airborne training? Like, yes, guaranteed. So it went to, so then on my paperwork, it was 93 Charlie, 1 Papa, right? 1P, which meant that I was guaranteed an airborne slot. So it was like 93 Charlie, 1 Papa. You're like, that's your MOS. Don't forget that. People ask you what you tell them. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to airborne school. That's all I cared about. And I have a heart murmur, so I had to go get a special waiver. I had to go down. They were like, oh, you have a slight heart murmur. So I had to go down to the doctor. The doctor signed me off. He was like, you're good to go there, airborne. And I went running back. That was my story for getting in there, right? So, but it was all based on my ASVAB scores, which were pretty, good enough to get that, right? And I was not the ideal student, guys. I was not. Boy, just so y'all know, like, it was not the ideal student. Go back and ask my counselor if you can find him. It was crazy. So that was the case. Like we had that going on. And I'm like, all right. You know what I mean? I was happy with the military, and that, after the military, I was able to get a job with the, U.S. government. And bro, the rest was history, man. I loved it. So the military, the army to me was great. And I know a lot of people that feel the same way. Like they joined the United States Army, um, or whatever branch, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, Coast Guard. They did their time. They did their 20. A lot of people, not a lot, but I know a good number of folks who joined when I joined, and they retired. They went on and did, at least 20 years. Some of them did like 25, 30 years, retired sergeant majors and stuff like that, E8s and E9s. Well, E8s, I guess, and it just kind of goes up. Sergeant major of the Army, I think, is the only E9, I think. Correct me in the chat if if I'm wrong, but it was great for me. So here's this guy who comes from wherever he comes from, somewhere in flyover country. That's like he's from the hood, sort of. There's little stories out there talking about it was tough. I think he lost a brother to the streets. His family's been on television talking about this. Of course, they're concerned. But when I'm watching a couple of video clips of his family, and maybe it was just me, but his family you could tell there's kind of like, he, they didn't say this, but it just, I don't know. I'm listening to him, and the way they're talking, it's like they're not surprised that he did it. You feel me? It just led me to think like, yo, this dude was probably wild in his whole life. This is just probably one of those wild kids. So, but I think it was someone in the family was talking to media and said that his mom had already lost one son. And I'm just assuming that she lost him to the streets somehow, but it could have been some sort of accident or something like that. But so you have this guy got into the military, which that would have been an opportunity to turn his life around. But yeah, he was dealing with some stuff, right? He was dealing with some stuff. Maybe it was anger issues. I don't know what type of soldier he was, but we know he did that time in South Korea, and we know he made this mistake. So he ain't the sharpest crayon in the box. Miss Globe Girls in the building. What's good, love? How you doing? She's like, they don't even know what gender they want to be anymore. To decide on joining the military would be damn near impossible for them. Facts. You talking about how half these? Yeah, man. You're right. You're right about that, sis. Lady Novoa's in the building. What's good, sis? Good to see you. How you feeling? And guys, when you come in, please hit the like. We're trying to get more exposure out there, get our views up and all that good stuff. And it's happening. We're getting some good views from those shorts. So hit the likes, please, if you do like it. Hit the dislike if you don't like it. But just to show that engagement helps a lot with the algorithm. We already know that YouTube don't even like sending out notifications. People hit the bell and want to watch the shows, and YouTube don't even tell them. So yeah, I got to figure out what that is. I'm going to have to send YouTube a message and ask them, hey, what's going on? I'm getting these reports that people, they subscribe and they hit the notification bell, but they don't get notifications. Maybe it could be that maybe maybe the thumbnail or the show needs to come out X amount of time before the show. Like, in other words, if I just pop on a course, maybe you won't get that notification, but maybe there's a cutoff. Like you need to, it needs, a 2 hour heads up or something like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm going to ask them. I don't know much about YouTube. For those who know more than me, please tell me, because I'm curious. But yeah, like these numbers right here, right? So 71% of youth don't qualify for military service. And most of that is because they're obese. People are fat and they can't pass the physical requirements, and they're having a hard time passing the test. So that right there shows that America has a lot of work to do, right? We got kids, we got 18-year-olds who come out of high school and they're so overweight that they can't pass a physical test. They can't do a PT test. They can't do push-ups, sit-ups. They can't do pull-ups, right? They can't run 2 miles. Like, that's a problem. And then, they have so much fat on their body that they can't get in. Like, and there's videos out there of the military has program for those people who are overweight that helps them while they're in basic training. It helps them to lose that weight or at least turn that fat into muscle so they can continue their careers. They call it the Fat Boy, Fat Girl program. I'm sure they have a more PC name for it in real life, but I watched a video about it. And a lot of these kids, like, they really want to serve. They see the opportunity, but they're just so big, right? And I mean, like, our diets are poor for the most part and all that kind of stuff. So the military now is dealing with these problems that stem from, just, I don't know, us not eating right, us, young kids not getting out there playing sports, all these different reasons, right? So, yo, this is it's probably why we need androids, I guess. Right? This is why computers are going to take over our military because the humans can't do it. Which is sad. And Brother Penny is saying YouTube notifications have been broken for some time now. Okay, cool. I didn't know that, bro. Thanks. I appreciate that, bro. I didn't know. So now I know what to say when people tell me I didn't get a notification. The notifications are broken, right? And then brother, my young knight said, I got mine. That's what's up, bro. That's the way. All you need to be worried about, man, is passing this next stage for your ATC journey, bro. But you need to be focused on that. That's it. We're gonna talk about that soon, real soon. You know what I'm talking about. Real soon, less than 24 hours soon, we're gonna be talking. So but brother Jack, like sometimes it's a little late though. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. But recruiters are having a hard time finding qualified applicants, right? And that's all branches. You know, this is and they're offering a lot of money. I've done shows on that, the type of bonuses they're offering, the type of monies they're offering, you know, post-military for college and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure National Guard and Army Reserves are still offering huge bonuses. I know back in the 90s, I enlisted in the National Guard while waiting to get picked up by the FAA, and the National Guard paid 100% tuition. So I was at the University of Cincinnati, and the National Guard was paying for that 100% of tuition, and so that was great. You know what I mean? Like that was great. So and it was guard duty, man. So it wasn't like real HUA stuff. We went on a couple missions. There was some disasters, some flooding. I remember there was some flooding. Was it in the Ohio Valley area, maybe Pennsylvania or something like that? But there was some flooding. It had to be in Ohio because we were guard members of Ohio National Guard. So we were activated. It was an engineering unit. We were activated to go, and we were driving dump trucks and picking up, you know, dirt and dropping dirt off at places so they can shore up the levees and stuff like that. It was a pretty cool mission, if I do say so myself. The like those engineers were squared away, man. They were pretty HUA. I forget the name of the unit, but I was the armorer. Like I got in, I was the armorer, and you know, I was in charge of the weapons and stuff like that. But I had a lot of driving experience because of the time I spent as an air traffic controller. Tactical Air Traffic Controller, ATC, stands for American Trucking Company, for those who don't know. If we weren't on a real mission, jumping out of airplanes and doing what we did, we were driving trucks, bro. Because we had big equipment that we would put on the back of a 2.5-ton truck and just drive those. Like it was separate missions, the tactical mission and the fixed base mission. And then there was a tactical mission that had the heavy equipment. So when we were light, it was what we could carry on our back. But when we went out, like in platoon size elements, we had mobile towers, we had mobile radar facilities, and all that stuff was on backs of trucks. So we were just driving trucks all over the place. Yeah, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. That I learned a lot of good stuff. I took the good with the bad, but you know, it was cool. It was cool. It was the ATC, baby, Army Trucking Company. Even in our light mission, we had Humvees. So we would have our Humvee as a command and control vehicles. A lot of units took us with them because we had that. We had every radar you can, every radio you can think of, and you know, with high frequency. We had UHF, VHF. We had all kind of radios mounted in our Humvee, and it was a great command control vehicle. So a lot of missions we would get attached just because they knew we had these, you know, we had this equipment. So those were cool missions. At least we didn't have to walk. We just in the vehicle and just, you know, the commanding officers were able to keep in touch with whoever needed to keep in touch with. Those were easy missions. But anyway, let me get back on track. Let me get back on track here. So, and they talk about the family business, right? 79% of recruits have a relative who has served. So it's almost 80% of recruits who are currently in had someone who was in the military prior to them, a relative who has served or something like that. So, and that makes sense. In certain communities, you know, I know in my family, you know, I served, my father served, my grandfather served, you know, it just, you know, I had uncles that served, other cousins that served with me. I mean, it was crazy. In fact, when I was in Desert Storm, I had a cousin who enlisted and she was in the 101st Airborne Division. I knew what unit she was in. And I saw a sign near where we were stationed. 101st was just down the road. So I got one of the sergeants to drive me down there. I think my cousin's down there. That's my cousin's unit. So we drove down and yep, it was indeed my cousin's unit. It was her company, but she was sent forward. So she was like downrange. But we got her on the radio. I got to talk to her. I'm like, where you at? Why you all the way down here? I'm over here. it was just crazy. Like here I am on the other side of the planet in the desert, and I'm talking to my cousin who is further down in the desert, doing their thing. So that's, small world in the military, bro. But bro, so yeah, most people, most families who have people who serve, there's always other siblings or cousins or whatever that would also serve. And then there's a disconnect with society. It says here only 1% of the population currently serves. Veteran population is declining. 1% of the population today currently serves in the United States military. 1%. 1%. 99% of y'all are sitting around wrapped up in your safety blanket. This is nice and safe and warm. Snarf, snarf. Only 1% is out there towing the line. Whew, that's crazy, y'all. That's crazy. That number needs to go up, in my opinion. Only 1%. Like I said, bro, if I was in charge, everybody be in the military. Lottie-dottie, everybody serve at least 2 years. If I were in charge, I better be glad I ain't commander and have my way. Like, not only would y'all serve, but y'all all be airborne too. Every last one of y'all have your knees in the breeze. I don't play around. But yeah, I get a lot of pushback on that. When I was, boy, y'all should see the comments. People be, no, that's I don't want to do that. Like, oh, you be glad I ain't in charge. Your ass will be out there, especially you. Whoever that is, that person, nah, you not only would you be in the military, you be downrange all the time. We're gonna put you right on the front. You approve this. But wow, man, those numbers are crazy, yo. Those numbers are crazy. So Patrick Bet-David did a thing on this, and we're gonna watch that here in a little bit. But I wanted to talk about those numbers because people are asking, like, well, how did that dude get there? Like, this dude obviously seems to have problems or whatever. How did he get there? Well, there's not a lot of qualified applicants. This guy probably passed the ASVAB, was able to pass the ASVAB. He's not obese. He's not overweight, right? So he could pass the physical test. He wasn't high, or at least his, he didn't have any drugs in the system at the time of the drug test, right? So he was able to actually enlist. Now, think about that. He was able to actually enlist. They probably didn't have any, priors or anything like that, or any felonies out there. Okay, so you would think that the recruiters would be all over this guy, not just the Army. All branches will want this guy. Here's a dude that qualifies. Let's get him in. So that's how he got in. Other people like, well, maybe he was crazy. Hey, he's a young kid. It couldn't have been that crazy, because they do put you through psyche evals. If they think something wrong with you, bro, they're not going to let you. They're not going to put weapons in your hands. They're not going to give you the training. So that's how he got there. And especially in the Army is going to give you a bunch of opportunities to better yourself. So you got this guy. I'm pretty sure whatever he did in South Korea wasn't the first time he gotten himself in trouble. Was locked up in their system. He's locked up in the South Korean prison system or jail system for almost 2 months. So whatever he did had to be fairly serious. The Army would have still, has probably given him chance after chance after chance. I'm pretty sure if you look in his file, he's got all kind of counseling statements, and the counseling statement is the paperwork we use when you're not right. If you're messing up, they'll give you a counseling statement. And I forget what the nomenclature is for a counseling statement, but they'll give you a counseling statement, and they'll tell you, like, your uniform is not right, your uniform is too wrinkled, your boots aren't, up to standard, to our company's guidelines or whatever. And then they'll sit down with you and explain what the deficiency is. They'll talk to you and then give you an opportunity to comment as to why your uniform looks like this. And then, you might say, well, I didn't know what the standard is. Okay, so we got the paperwork. You don't know what the standard is. I'm going to write down what the standard is, and then we're going to give you some enhancement training, and we're going to get you squared away. So not only am I going to show you what the training is, but, I'm going to go into your barracks or go where you live. We're going to show you how to properly iron your uniform, show you how to properly shine your boots. Now they don't even have to shine boots anymore, right? They got the suede things or whatever. But we're going to show you these things, show you how to properly wear your uniform according to the regulations. And that's all it's all documented. It's all documented, right? It's all on paperwork. It's right there. So if you do it again, like, nah, we showed you how to do all that. So, when you go and say, well, you can't say I didn't know how to do it. Nope, we went back and we gave you enhancement training. Oh, well, I'm not getting enough sleep because I'm having bad dreams. Okay, fine. Now we're going to take you to the doctor. So it's a process. And the Army documents everything. If you're a good NCO, you know what I'm talking about. The bad NCOs, they just do the paperwork and ship it forward. Now, I don't know what today's army is doing. I don't know what the restraints are in today's army. I don't know if NCOs are allowed to square away their soldiers. I don't know. There might be rules like, hey, Sarge, you can't do that anymore. Because when I was in, bro, they take you behind the barracks and beat your butt, bro. It will beat your ass to get you squared away. Not just the sergeant. Like, sergeant sit there and supervise you getting your ass beat with the rest of the guys in your squad taking care of you. If you that bad, you making us do extra work. You know what I mean? Y'all all saw Full Metal Jacket when they had Private Powell strapped to the bed, and they all had, they had their soap in their towel when they gave him a proper blanket party. Right? That happens, bro. That happens. Now, in my army, that was a thing. I don't know about today's army. It might have changed. You know what I mean? It might have. Like, I don't know. I don't know if the NCOs are given the leeway or given, the support to square their soldiers away. It might just be, hey man, do the paperwork, and if they can't get it together on their own, we're just going to process them out. It could be that. It could be. Which would be sad, because it's so hard to get people into the military, getting people into the military and then retaining them to get them to stay in the military. So maybe they're afraid to discipline those guys, those men and women. Maybe they're afraid because they know that they won't re-enlist. That could be a thing. That could be a thing. So this all goes to the point where, how did he get there? Well, he was qualified. They got him in. Maybe he didn't score particularly high on his ASVAB, but they're like, hey man, we get him into infantry. I don't want to walk. Hey man, mechanized infantry, bro. You ride around in a Bradley. You want to ride around in it's like a tank. You want to ride around a baby tank? It's a Bradley. You ain't got to walk. That's gang. They gonna lie to you, but all right, sure, I'll do that. Sign here. He's in. Right. So I'm pretty sure he was messing up. He probably had a rough time in basic training. Probably messed up there. Probably messed up in AIT, his advanced training, when he was learning all that stuff, going to the range, firing all the weapons, doing all that stuff we talked about, right? Probably messed up there. Paperwork's going to tell you. Got to his unit, was probably a knucklehead. I'm just guessing, guys. I don't know. You know what I mean? But I think all this will come out later. Got to Korea, got himself into a bit of real trouble with the civilians. Now they can't really fudge it anymore. Like, all right, we gave you all these opportunities, bro. Maybe he enlisted for 4 years or something like that. It's like, you're 2 years in, maybe enlisted for 3. You only enlisted for 3 years. You're 2 years in. This ain't working out, bro. We're going to go ahead and send you home. Right? That's probably what was going on. That's what I'm thinking here. Probably what happened. And the guy was just like, well, I'm going to show you. And then now we have this incident where he, runs across the DMZ. But that's how he got there. Because it's hard to get people in. That's my guess. That's how he got there. And we talked about the MPs. Like, I would definitely give the MPs a counseling statement. Like, bro, we told you to put him on the plane. Well, we put him in line. That's not putting him on the plane. We told you to put him on the plane. Now, the MPs were like, well, this is what we were trained to do, and your orders said this. And if the orders were written and the orders did not state that you had to put him on the aircraft, those MPs would be all right. Like, whatever. This is how we do it. If that's the case, right? That might be the case. I don't know, but the MPs put him in line, and no one in the United States military is thinking someone's going to get from the airport to the DMZ and cross the border. No one's thinking that. Like, it had to be an opportunity to just present itself, right? There's some talk out there. People said he planned this. I don't know how. I mean, nah, he's probably standing in line. Somebody's on the bullhorn or talking to the people like, hey, guys, get over here. We're going to get on the bus. We're going to the DMZ tour over here. We're going to get, maybe he just walked over and got in that line. It just, the opportunity presented itself and he walked over there. How can you plan that? How can you plan that? You're going to be so meticulous in your planning, but then you're going to sit here and not know how the North Koreans get down, bro. Like, you don't know what happened to the last dummy who did some stupid stuff in North Korea, went to a floor he wasn't supposed to go on, stole some paintings off the wall. Y'all remember, dude? Like, you're going to plan out this escape to North Korea, but you don't know what happened to the other dummy who went to North Korea, how they sent him home. Right? They sent him home, bro. So that guy wasn't in the military. That was a civilian. So I don't know, bro. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know if that's a thing. Right? I really don't know if I'm gonna plan this out. Like, that just doesn't sound like a good plan. That is some dummy stuff. That is some dummy stuff. So Um, and then Brother Tez is in the house, man. What's good, fam? How you feeling? And if you guys are wondering, I'm definitely gonna drop the link on this one, man. Again, I'm hoping Brother Mandrell pops on. I want to hear what he has to say, and I already know what. Boy, I'm pretty sure I know what he's gonna say. And I'm gonna say this right now, man. Those people, we should go rescue him. No, we are not going to jeopardize the lives of any soldier, U.S. serviceman trying to get some dummy who defected to North Korea. Absolutely not. No, don't do it. No, no. It's not like the North Koreans came over and snatched him up. That's different. No, no, no. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it, guys. I don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? Brother Jack, like, not a fan of those fat boy programs on. Hey, man, gotta lose the weight, gotta lose the weight. If you join the United States military and you really want to be there and you just can't get that weight off. I mean, and that program consists of physical training and diet. So you're in the program, right? You're in an environment where you got people helping you. I think that's an excellent program, man. Those programs that help these people, you know what I mean, these folks who never had a real diet, they've never really eaten, healthy. They got an opportunity to eat healthy, and it's still choices. Even in the Army, they don't force you to do it. It's still choices. You go to the dining facilities, time for chow. They tell you you're on a program where you have to eat here. It's color coded. So they tell you need to get this, and this. You can eat as much as this as you want, which would be like the 0-calorie stuff like that. You can have a little bit of this. You can have a little bit of that. You know what I mean? So you're getting all the help you need to become healthy. Even if you don't want to stay in the United States military, at least now you know how to keep your weight under control. You're like, man, I could just be healthy. I can get out here and do a little cardio out here, and I can watch what I'm eating and stay healthy. I think that's great. I think it's great, bro. I think it's great. And they're giving you an opportunity, because if you fail this program, they kick you out. Like, you can't stay. Those requirements are entrenched. You got to stay. If you want to stay in, you can't be fat. And Brother Jack was like, my dad was a big boy, and it made his bones brittle. Losing the weight as fast as he did, broke his leg twice during boot camp. You got to be careful with it, man. And understand, you're talking about your father, man. So it's a different generation, man. We looked at it differently back then. We looked at it differently, bro. So I can see why you would, have some misgivings. Like, man, they really put my dad through it. Yeah, we had some dudes. We had some big boys and big girls when I went through basic and AIT, and when I got to the unit. And, the way they did the whole skin fold thing and all that. But most of the people who wanted to lose the weight were able to put the weight off. And again, it was about the diet. The diet was the most important thing, because in our unit, you were going to be active. You were going to be active. So you're going to burn calories. We were PTing every day, 5 days a week. We were going on missions. You know what I mean? Like regular, the legs, the people who were just the regular guys in our unit, we were going on missions too, every other month or so. So we were going out, patrolling, doing stuff, you know what I mean? And you still, again, you constantly, people were telling you to do push-ups constantly. Beat your face all the time. You do something, say something stupid, beat your face. It was pride. We get down there and just start pushing. We would challenge. That's how we would greet each other. You see NCO who just got back from airborne school or something like that. He's got his wings on now. He's no longer, I ain't a leg no more, but you still a cherry, beat your face. And I would say that as a E3, E4, I'd be a specialist telling him to beat his face. And he would get down and push. And then they'd be like, get down here with me, Lewis. Oh, I get down there with him, and we just push. Right? It was like a pride thing. So it was hard to be a big boy. It was hard to be a big boy. Now, I could eat whatever I wanted because I was skinny, man. I think I weighed 140 pounds. I was 145 pounds when I enlisted. By the time I got to my unit, I think I was 160, maybe 165 pounds, bro. Think about that. And I would jump. My equipment would weigh 70 pounds. Some missions I would be carrying 70 pounds worth of gear. Right. But yeah, on average, anywhere between 50 and 65 pounds is what I was carrying, bro. I only weighed 165, 170 pounds. Think about that for a moment. Kind of hard to be big when you're doing all that, bro. You know what I mean? But yeah, I get it, man. It was a different Army. Today's Army, they really focus on calories. They focus on diet, and they make sure you're out there. You're not just sitting around. They make sure you're out there burning those calories, drinking water, you know what I mean? Getting out there. And, they're, I hate to say it, but, Army's way softer now than it was when I was in, bro. Way softer now. Brother Dino Dinosaurs in the house. What's good, fam? Reporter called his mom on her porch. She didn't seem too bothered with no big emotion. I bet he was thinking the North is developed with all them rockets. I don't know what he was thinking, bro. I don't know. That's a head scratcher, man. Like, I really don't know what was on his mind. Like, what? You going where? That just doesn't make sense. Unless his big plan was, I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna sit down for a few weeks or something, maybe a month. I'll come back and I can be famous and write a story and, you know, write a book and start a YouTube channel and be on Good Morning America. If and when dude comes back, I mean, bro, man, I wouldn't say nothing to that guy, bro. You an idiot, homie. Like, you an idiot. I do not want to hear how the North Koreans beat you every night. Don't want to hear it. Of course they beat you every night, bro. I don't want to hear how they gave you food with maggots in it. Of course they did. You know what I mean? It's extra protein. They was looking out for you, player. That was stupid. That was stupid. I don't want to hear about it. But this is America. Oh my God, he's a victim. No, he is not. We are victims because we got to talk about his dumb move. You know what I mean? Brother Dino's like, I heard he claimed he had lost his passport and got away from boarding the plane. Again, that's why those MPs should have been there. If that's true, that's why the MPs should have been there. You don't need a passport when you're military, bro. And that's another thing too. Why they put him on they should have taken him down to Kempo, put him on, right? Just put him on a C-17. There you go, bro. Sit on down. Here you go. So again, I don't know how the military is working. I don't have my passport. You got your military ID, bro. That was my passport, my military ID. But again, I know times have changed. I don't know. You know, post 9/11, maybe even soldiers have to have their passports. Maybe that's part of the in-processing procedures in the military now. Yeah. Anybody, let me know, guys. Because I got out of the active army in 1994. So you guys let me know what it's like today. Do are soldiers, when they go through in processing, you get your military ID, and are you required to get your passport as well? I don't know. Miss Globe Girl's in the building. What's good? My favorite sailor. He is right where he needs to be. Fuck around and find out. There it is right there. Fair winds and following seas. Hey, that's some Navy talk right there. And he is right where he needs to be. Play stupid games, get stupid prizes, bro. He is, I guarantee you this. He ain't laughing now. There's reports to say he was laughing as he crossed the border. He ain't laughing now. I tell you that. I'll tell you that. Man, he done got his butt beat. Don't even speak the language. So stupid. So stupid. So yeah, should we be trying to get him back? I say no. I'm pretty sure that most of the military types out there will agree with me. Like, nah, we ain't trying to get him back. You defected, bro. Stay over there. Stay over there. You know, if I'm the Department of the Army, like I said, I'm doing this paperwork. It's done. North Koreans show up and we want to talk here. Just give me these papers for me. That guy's no longer a soldier in the United States Army. That's it. He's done. He has been dishonorably discharged. You know what I mean? And you guys go over there and talk to the State Department people, because we don't care. And there's an article out there where a guy who defected from North Korea to the South was saying how the North Koreans don't really want to deal with this. They don't want him. It's like, because he costs money. He is resources they got to spend on this dude that they don't want to have to spend. So, you know, it's a very good chance that the North Koreans are bringing back to the DMZ and throwing back over the line. Like, man, y'all take care of this stupid person. They don't want to deal with that. They got to feed him. They're responsible for him. You know, if something were to happen to him, and if he were to lose his life, they have to deal with that. They don't want to deal with that. You know, he has no real value to the North Koreans. He doesn't know anything. He's a private aircraft guy. He didn't do nothing. He wasn't in charge of nothing. Anything that he may have done, any knowledge that he possessed, you can find on YouTube. The North Koreans already know about. So what are they going to do? You're going to have videos of him walking around talking about how America bad, North Korea good. You can do that, but no one's going to. There's an idiot. No one cares. Like, you know, except for whoever's out there, you know, feeling sorry for this dude, which I can't imagine. I mean, how many people were actually feeling sorry for this guy? I don't. Not even a little bit. I could care less, man. But we were talking about the trouble that the United States military is having with recruitment. Patrick Bet-David has a video, a U.S. military crisis, man. Let's check out a little bit of this video. And see some of the challenges that they're facing and see if it syncs up with that article that we were just looking at. So let's check this out.
News for you about the military in America. The good news is we are so much nicer in the Army. We are no longer mean, challenging people, telling them to toughen up because we care so much about your well-being. But the bad part about the military is we got weaker. Matter of fact, here's a recent article that came from Wall Street Journal.
I'm going to pause it right there because Patrick Bet-David was in the 101st Airborne Division, which is really air assault. So every time I see Pat, it's not every time, the few times I've seen him, and then a lot of text messages I send him like, bro, why didn't you go to airborne school? Like, you were almost perfect, brother. I know you're a billionaire, but you're not airborne. You're still a leg. But at least he was in the 101st and he was doing his thing. And he's talking about it because he got into the military long after me. So he's talking about it. Even when he was in, we were still tough. There was a lot of fighting going on. There was a lot of alphaness going on, bro. You know, the 101st, yeah, they're not airborne, but they're hood. And there's a lot of guys in there in the 101st Airborne Division who are airborne. I'm not sure if they have any jump slots. I don't know, but they certainly did it for Bragg. You know what I mean? So, but that's what he's talking about, how they're getting kinder, and they're soft. And, you know, this is what we're talking about. This is how someone like this Travis King guy could get into the situation he's in now. Because he didn't get the blanket party that he needed when he was in basic or AIT. He didn't get the discipline he needed from his NCOs, sounds like to me. This guy's out here working the system. And now look at him. Again, it's on him.
Stating in 2022, the U.S. military had its toughest recruiting year since we were doing an all-volunteer military in 1973. Here's the shortfall. Army's goal for 2022 for recruiting was 65,000. They fell short by 15,000 people. That's 23%. Navy's goal was 38,000. They fell short by 10,000. That's minus 26%. Air Force was 27. They fell short by 3,000, minus 11%. Marines were the only ones that had a goal, and they hit it. And when I share with you the data today, I'll give you one and that's going to drive you crazy. Did you know we spend the same amount of money to Ukraine already in the fight against Russia as Russia's entire military budget was last year? Wait till you see some of this data. You're going to say, what the hell are we doing in America?
He's right about that. The Marine Corps is always happy to find Marines. People who join the Marine Corps know what they're doing. Like, either they know about the Marine Corps, they are relatives of former Marines, or they're looking to challenge themselves. I can see that. I can see the Marine Corps hitting their numbers. But I think the Marine Corps is struggling hitting their numbers this year. I think I'll have to pull those numbers, see what the latest numbers state. But I get that, man. Marines, you know, I know people enlisting in the United States Marine Corps just because they like the uniform, bro. Like, man, that uniform, man, that's nice. That dress uniform is real nice. And they enlisted in the United States Marine Corps because they wanted to wear that uniform. Like, bro, you can just rent that uniform on Halloween. Nope, I'm gonna be a Marine. All right, good, good job. But the money we spent in Ukraine, yeah, man, like Ukrainians are actually fighting. They're in the trenches, literally. They're fighting for their land. But there's no way they would be able to wage this type of war without the help of the United States. You know, there's just no way. And the other NATO, you know, like Germany, you know, UK, America, it's just no way. With the weapons, you know, now the great thing is we give them the weapons and they do their own fighting. But, you know, they wouldn't be on an offensive now, especially. They were able to stop the Russians on their own. They stopped the Russians with what they had. They didn't have any help yet. But once they got the help, they were able to push the Russians back. And they're trying to push the Russians out of Ukraine, out of Crimea. We'll see how it plays out. But we are spending a lot of money over there. A lot of money. Brother Dino, we're going to hear Trump ask for dear leader to send him back. Oh, man, love letters from Trump for a political win. Trump's getting locked up, bro. So I hear you. Whatever he decides to do, he can do. But Trump's going to jail, man. Like, just the stuff that he's done, this January 6th stuff, you know what I mean? The documents, right? Real bad look. The documents, he's definitely going to do time for that. And this whole Georgia thing, you know, that's coming. That's next. Georgia is next, right? We knew this. this isn't new to anybody who follows me, anybody on this platform. We've all known, we know what this is, right? We know what this is. But yeah, Trump is definitely going to try to get some political points. He's going to do what he has to do. Keep in mind, the North Koreans don't want this drama, man. They don't want this smoke. They don't want this guy. This guy's useless to them. They're going to do what they can to get what they can out of him, maybe some propaganda points. But that's it, bro. I don't know what they're going to do with this guy. He can wind up there another 2 weeks. He could be over there 20 years. Who knows? Big pictures in the building. What's good? Hi, everybody. How you doing? Welcome. Yeah, man, we're just over here talking about what's going on with this Travis King. Let's continue.
Let's get right into it.
And shout out to PBD Podcast, man. Patrick Beck, David, Valuetainment. They doing their thing. Shout out to them.
I normally would say if you get value out of this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I should probably say if this thing pisses you off, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. But let's get right into it. Look, there's a lot of things going on right now. So, well, because recruiting is down, it's because military has gone woke. And then Kirby, Milley, and Blinken say, no, that's not the reason. There's no real correlation between the two. So we said, listen, why don't we look at some of the numbers, see what we kind of noticing that's going on within our military? Because safety and security is very important to you, to I got a family. I'm sure you want to be safe as well. So let's see what's really going on here. All right, so let's first take a look at how big our military is today versus in the past before. If you look at this chart here, this goes from 50s till today. Of course, we don't want to look at World War II because I think we had a high of 16 million total. Obviously, some of it you were drafted, you didn't have a choice. But I'm looking at the era that is volunteer era and slightly prior to that. If you look at this chart, in the 50s, during Korean War, we had a little over 3 million soldiers in the military. That's between 1950 to 53, a little over 3 million. Then if you notice the 70s, we went back above 3 million again. That's 3.5 million. That's the war that was going on with Vietnam, 1955 to 75. And then it dropped off. And then we go into the 80s, 90s, you're dealing with the Persian Gulf. We had roughly 2 million people in the military. And then today, we're the lowest we've ever been. We're at roughly 1.35 million people in the Air Force, Marine Corps, Navy, and Army combined. This is all active duty. So you may say, Pat, I don't know if that's a big...
Now, here's the thing with that. I'll accept those numbers. I ain't mad at those numbers. But the mission of the United States military has changed. The way we conduct warfare has changed. Technology has changed. So we don't need the big numbers anymore, right? We just don't. The military has been downsizing since the mid 90s, early to mid 90s. When I was in, they were downsizing. They were paying soldiers to get out. So the mission has changed. Again, tech. We have tech now. You know, we don't need as many combat pilots, right? Because we got drone pilots. We got drones and people sitting in Nevada, Arizona, somewhere flying drone missions on the other side of the planet. So you don't actually need that pilot, you know, in the front of an F-18 or an F-16 or whatever F they're fighting in F-35. But we still need those pilots because, you know, there's different types of missions. You see those numbers go down. It's like, wow, man, it's a lot of people, you know, with millions of people gone. Right. But you got to understand most of the folks will support people anyway. So if we don't have as many soldiers, trigger pullers out there, we don't need as much support. And then, you know, again, the military has also evolved to where it's tip of the spear heavy. So we have a lot more special operators than we've had before, ever, right? A lot. We got a lot of them. So there are a lot of Navy SEALs out there. There are a lot of Green Berets out there. Delta is heavy. You know what I mean? The Rangers, scrolled out Rangers, heavy. There are a lot of them out there, man. MARSOC Marines, a lot of them out there in comparison to where it was before. Because the mission has changed. America's not going to face a war, a type of war like World War II again, where it's us against a developed nation, you know, one army pitted against the next. No one's going to stand up to America like that. Our technology is too much. Our guys are too highly trained, right? Our bombs and bullets work. No one wants to do that. So it's always going to be these small kind of things, these small, and you know, even when you look at the decade that we spent, what was it, 20 years we spent in the Middle East, Afghanistan, Iraq. The way we fought that, which, you know, had we fought that in the 40s and 50s, we just would have taken the countries. We just would have taken the countries and occupied the countries and built military bases there. That's how we did it before. Now we're not doing that. We're just kind of putting out fires and we're using specialized, you know, individuals to go in there and do what they do. So that's why the numbers are going down. Let's continue.
Is that a big number compared to what? Let's look at the competitors. China. China's got 2 million. India's got 1.45 million. We have 1.3 million. North Korea's 1.2 million. Russia's got 850,000. Then it's Pakistan at 640. Iran's got 575. South Korea's got 555. Vietnam's got 470. And Egypt has 415. By the way, for some of you that want some fun fact type of thing, active and reserve, Vietnam's the most with around 5.5 million. They're really concerned if another Hiroshima happens again, so they want to make sure they stay paranoid. Now, let's look at some stats here. Today, nearly 80% of all Army recruits have a family member who served, meaning if I join, maybe it's like, my dad served, I want to do the same. My uncle served, I want to do the same. At the same time, the Department of Defense said that 77% of American youth are disqualified from military due to a lack of physical fitness, low test scores, criminal records, including drug use, or other problems. So if you don't have that big of an inventory and they're not qualified, what do you have to do? You either have to keep the standards the way it is or say, well, why don't we just lower the standards to get more people that get in? And then at the same time, in 2021, only 9% of young people ages 16 to 21 said they would ever consider joining the military. Now let's take a look at what's happened in America with different policy changes since.
Man, those numbers are crazy. Those numbers are crazy. And we just kind of went over the more updated version of those same numbers. And the numbers we looked at earlier were Army numbers. Pat's looking at numbers for the entire military. So he's looking at all branches. We were just looking at Army numbers, but those numbers were real, similar, right? We could see it, which is crazy. And he was like, I have some questions about PBD. All right, cool. I'll remind you. I won't let you forget. Man. I hope I can answer it. You know what I mean? Brother Pitney, he'll probably be a POW for life. I think they'll keep him for, like I said, they might let him go in 2 weeks, 2 months, but more likely it's going to be, I think it's going to be some years, probably 10, 15 years. Well, who knows? I don't know. We'll see. Like, this is, like, the guy has no value, man. He's a drain on the resources. Like, why keep him? So, but, depends on what propaganda they can use for him. I mean, here's an African-American soldier, former soldier who ran across the border. Maybe he's like, I'll do anything, guys. So they'll make some movies and some propaganda film and all that. That's the only value I could see. I mean, who knows? Maybe do get over there and like, you know what? I want to stay in North Korea if they hook him up. I doubt that could happen, but who knows, man? Just the whole thing is just, it just blows your mind, man. It's mind bending. Just think about it. But let's continue.
2011 to today. 2011, U.S. repealed the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy, prohibiting gay recruits from serving openly in the military. 2013, U.S. lifts ban on women serving in combat roles. There's a big thing that happens in 2013 when they said women can go into combat. Wait till you see this data here. According to the Center for a New American Security, CNAS, the number of women serving in combat occupations increased over 60% between 2013 to 2018. But what else increased? Let me show you. Sexual assault reports made to Department of Defense skyrocketed right after 2013. When you look at this here, notice how from 2007 to 2012, it's flat. 2013, combat takes place. Look at the reports all the way at the top in total reports. From 3,604 reports to next year, 5,518, and it's climbed all over 8,000 today. So you may say, wait a minute. So
like that number right there that's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Now, that's definitely a problem in the military. It is, the fact that it correlates with, women, being authorized to be in combat roles. Okay, I see that. But what a lot of people don't realize, especially when I was in the military, a lot of that went unreported. A lot of that got swept under the rug. If a female soldier came forward and said, hey, this happened, instead of dealing with it, the COs would basically ask the soldier, where do you want to go? Basically, how can we make this go away? And I want this, I want that. You know what I mean? It doesn't change the fact that it happened. They would absolutely discipline the soldier. So it's not like the soldier got away scot-free, but they wouldn't turn it over to the civilian side. They were really trying to keep it off the record, and doing what they were doing. It's terrible. There's nothing else I can say about that. It's terrible. Now, maybe there's no rug to sweep it under. Like, they see it, we document it, we report it, it goes up, we do what we do. It could be that. And, maybe that's why there's it seems to be this big spike, because it was always there, man. You got young people, testosterone is going crazy. It's horrible, bro. It's horrible. There's no excuse for it. For those soldiers who are doing it, you get out there and you get caught up. You get what you deserve. And I'm talking to the male soldiers out there. You going out there and you being aggressive and you doing this sort of thing, you get what you deserve. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna leave it there. But that's always been a problem. And with women being able to serve in combat roles, there've always been women in combat scenarios. And it doesn't matter. Like, again, if you were an air traffic controller, if you had 93 Charlie doing Desert Storm, you were in a combat environment. We had women in our unit. We were downrange. So I told you about my cousin, right? Female. She was downrange, right? And she was a rat rigger. She was in communications, right? So if, they say women aren't in combat roles, but yes, they are. Okay, they didn't have women in, you couldn't be a ranger. You couldn't be Green Beret. And it wasn't because, it was because your gender the regs didn't allow for it, but that test, that's hard. It's hard to be a ranger. I think it's 2 women that went through ranger training. And I know people who were, going through training at that time, and they were telling, you can find this stuff on YouTube. They were talking about what was going on. It was really a publicity stunt. Getting these 2 soldiers, these female soldiers through was really a publicity stunt. If there's a female out there who can meet the standard, be a ranger, be a Green Beret, be it whatever, they're not going to stop her. Like, okay, if you can meet the standard, but they're not going to change the standards because you're female. That's just how it should be. And throughout history, man, you have women out there, female snipers. Some of the highest scoring snipers in the history of warfare, female, some of them coming out of Russia, coming out of Ukraine, right? There was high scoring female snipers in the Vietnam War, not working for us. On the Vietnamese side, they were doing it. So, there's always been females in combat. So, that's like a whole nother thing. Last Good Man in Jersey's in the building. What's good, fam? That was a great show we did the other day, man. Last Good Man in Jersey and I, we did this show talking about the Philippines. Should you have game or not have game? If you guys haven't seen it, go and check that show out. That was a really good show. Again, thank you, brother, for doing that. Last Good Man in Jersey was recently in the Philippines, sharing his experience and his story. I had a lot of people hit me up on that show. Like, yo, man, that was a good show. Like, calling me and like, hey, man, I really enjoyed that. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. We'll definitely be working with the Last Good Man in Jersey in the future, talking about some other good stuff. I'm pretty sure we'll talk about some more travel stuff. I think Fresh and Fit are in Colombia right now. I think I saw that on either Miami's or Fresh's feed. They haven't been broadcasting, so I think they're probably going to do a show down there. I think Shooter's with them, Sneako's with them. They have some other people down there, and they got some people in Colombia. I believe they're in Medellin. Pretty sure they'll bump into George Gammon. So I'm looking forward to seeing what shows they got coming while they're down there. But yeah, man. Hey, guys, don't be afraid to travel. Last Good Man in Jersey is like, what's up, DL? Dropping the show with some support. Appreciate that, bro. The big picture, those women had a lot of help getting through Ranger School. Facts. They had a lot of help. Like, it was a publicity thing. So yeah, that's a whole nother conversation. Miss Globe Girls in the building. Make sure you tell that to Mandrill about women in the military. Absolutely. I'm dragging my feet. I'm hoping Mandrill jumps into the chat because I'm going to drop the link. I definitely want to hear what he has to say about this dude running across the border. But yeah, I've always said that when it comes to warfare, women throughout history have always fought in some way, shape, or form. America has always been, like, no, we don't want women in combat. Come on, bro. Women have always fought. I'm cool with it. You want to go fight? You want to go downrange? Let's go. I am not mad. I get why people have, they're hesitant to do it. I get it. Let's say that I'm a sniper and I'm just kind of looking at targets. I'm watching what's going on, right? And I see females in the unit. I see females out there. That's who I'm gonna hit. I'm gonna hit them in their leg. I'm gonna have them out there and be just tag them and have them scream because I know dudes are gonna run out there. They're gonna run out there. So that one wound that you wound one person, one soldier, one female soldier, and you could probably bag 10, 15 guys because they're gonna go out there and try to get her. They're gonna do everything they can to go out and get her. Snipers always do that. They normally do it they find out who the most likable person is. They find out who is the go-to person, and that's who they normally get. And they'll wound that person, and they'll wait for folks to go out there and try to save them, and that's how they rack up, you know what I mean, their kills. But if you see a female out there, bro, that's absolutely the target. That's, you definitely want to tag her in her leg, and she goes down, everyone's going to try to run out there and get her. So that's what people had as misgivings. It's part of warfare, bro. It's part of warfare, man. So, it is what it is. Brother Dino was like, Fresh and Fish shows tonight. Oh, that's what's up. Yeah, so they're traveling. So it's tonight. They're probably going to have a big table. And, man, I tell you what, man, Fresh is down there. Bro, I already know, man. He is having the time of his life, bro. Like, Fresh is like me. We have the same taste in women. So, yeah, bro, I already know what time it is, man. I already know what time it is. The big picture. I still believe that women should not be allowed in a combat MOS. Hey, man, a lot of people believe that. I don't have that problem, especially if you can shoot. Like, if you can shoot, yeah, you know, it is what it is, man. War is horrible. Like they say, war is hell. I have no problem with females in combat MOSs, but I get why people do. I do. I understand why people do. Brother Penny, yeah, Fresh and Fish is about to do a show from Columbia in an hour or two. I'm definitely going to check that out. The big picture. I am in the chat. Right. I am in the chat. Do you really want to know? I don't know who you are, man. Man, people be using their aliases, man. I don't know who's what. Give me a hint so I know who I'm dealing with. Say, women have no place on the battlefield at Miss Globe Girl. Hey, there y'all go. Y'all can make that happen. Women do have a place on the battlefield, right? You have nurses out there, right? They're still downrange. They're close to the lines, right? They're right there. They're right there. You know, I think it's tough for a female medic, because she's just smaller and she's weaker. So it's hard for her to drag people out of harm's way. I get that, but you know, you got a lot of aviators out there. You got a lot of Apache pilots out there, Black Hawk, Chinook pilots, females, and they're in it, bro. They've been in it. They don't care. They get in it. They do not care. They're out there doing their job. I would not be surprised if there are female A-10 drivers, right? So you wouldn't care that she's female just so long as she knows what she's doing. She's coming in and drop ordnance on the bad guys, you know what I mean, to get you out of trouble. You could care less if that's a female or a male up there driving that aircraft. That's my take on it. Tankers, you know, that's a very dangerous job, bro. But if you want to be a tanker, go ahead. I don't care, male, female. My take is a little different on there. Brother Jack's like, Fresh looks so excited. Myron looked like it was just another day in the office. Yeah, bro. Yeah. You know, Myron. I think Myron prefers the Middle East. You know what I mean? He's talked about Dubai more than a handful of times, like, you know, off camera and stuff like that. So he might wind up over there. You would never see Fresh living over there, bro. Never. Nah, Fresh would be somewhere down south. Miss Glow Girl. I know this isn't Mandrill. Yeah, who is it? If that's Mandrill, let me know, because I'll drop the link. You know, at the big picture, when all Mandrill sees is a small picture. And Mandrill, if that's you, bro, get your other thing, man. Let me know if that's you, Mandrill. If that's you, I want to drop the link, because I want to hear what you got to say. So let me know if that's Mandrill or not. And guys, Mandrill has a YouTube channel that's up and running. So, man, I need to find that channel. So not on this stream, but the next stream, I'm going to have his link on there. And if any of the mods know where his channel is right now, if you could drop it in the chat, I appreciate it. If not, I'm going to definitely have it on the next live, because we definitely want to get over and support Mandrill. Him and Shushu were on last night on Black Man on Filters Network. I'm going to have to watch that in team replay. I missed it last night. I was out. I'm out taking salsa lessons now, bro. I'm in class actually learning the mechanics. You know what I mean? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. I'm out there actually learning the steps, learning it. Oh, this is it. So this is Mandrill. All right, cool. That's what's up, bro. So first of all, let me give you a wrench, bro. Let me give you a area. Add as moderator. I'm just doing the paperwork here. Bam. There you go. There you go. You got a wrench, man. And let me drop this link, man, because I want to hear what you have to say about old boy going into North Korea. What a dummy. So here's the link right there. If anybody want to come up, and I'll pin that to the top there. There you guys go. If you want to get in here and jump in there. And there's the link to Mandrell's YouTube channel. Please jump over there, like and subscribe, guys. Jump in there and let's show Mandrell some love. Get in there, definitely like and subscribe. Let me go over there right now and subscribe while I'm thinking about it, because he sent me a message and I meant to do it. Boom, subscribe. We're on there. 53 subscribers now. Let's get him up, man. Let's get him up to 1,000 subscribers as soon as we can. Man, Dre, you need to put some more stuff on your page, bro. Like it's nothing there. Put some more stuff on your page, bro. Let's do some shows, man. Let's do some lives. Let's do all that good stuff over there, man. So shout out. Let's give Mandrell a hand for getting it up and running, man. That's for you, bro. For getting it up and running. So I've dropped the link, guys. You might want to come up and talk about what's going on, man. Until then, let's listen to a little bit more of Patrick Bet-David.
What are you saying? You know, that's okay. I'm not saying it's okay. All I'm saying is when you send thousands of men who are 18 to 25 years old with the testosterone level here, and the ratio for soldiers in active duty, not in combat, is for every 5 male active duty, there's 1 female. So out of 6, 1 is a female, 5 is a male. And in combat, the ratios are astronomically higher. You're putting these men in a bad situation. Well, that's an excuse you're making for them. I'm not telling them. Don't put people in a bad situation to do something bad. These numbers tell us it's not a good thing that is happening. Again, bad policies have consequences. This is showing this was a bad policy. November 2017, this was the first time the Defense Health Agency approved payments for sex reassignment surgery for active duty U.S. military service members. Matter of fact, Pentagon spent $15 million between 2017 to 2021 treating 1,892 transgender troops, including $11.5 million for psychotherapy and $3.1 million for surgeries, according to the Defense Department data provided to military.com. I want you to think about in Russia.
That's a lot of money, y'all. That's a lot of money. And I mean, wow. Are they doing that to get people to enlist? Probably. That's a lot of money, man. You know, again, I'm for do what you want to do. I could care less. But I don't know about spending Pentagon money, you know, Department of Defense money, so people can transition and have basically have a sex change. Or I don't know about that, bro. I'm gonna have to sit down and think about that. I'm not on board with that. But it definitely shows you how the military has changed. Let's listen to just a little bit more because this is kind of drifting into the political world a little bit. Let's listen to just a little bit more.
In China, in Iran, they're getting a report. Did you know America spent $15 million for surgery? Pentagon, 1,890. What do you think the enemy's thinking? Oh my God, we're going to go against transgenders. We have to be very careful because this is like a level above Navy SEAL. Or do you think they're laughing, saying, what the hell happened to the most feared military in the world? Is that really what the Pentagon? Who the hell is running the Pentagon to approve numbers like this? How would you look at it if the military said it? By the way, you can talk about woke policies maybe in business and other places and sell it. In war, where your safety's on the line, this sounds ludicrous to me. I don't know if it does to you as well. And so if you're my age, in your 40s, you're going to look at this one and say, what are these guys talking about here? But today, remember, we're nicer today. We're more pleasant today. We do wusa today in the military, and we do yoga, because that's how we defend our country, by being peaceful and telling the enemy, hey, China, before you kill us, why don't we do yoga together so we can have more peace? What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's not how we did it. They asked us questions. What makes the grass grow green? Blood, blood, blood. Whose blood? Anybody's. That's how we did it. That's how we did it. Death from above, airborne. That's kill them all. Let God sort them out. Airborne. That was the world I'm from. That was the world, right? That was the army that Pat served in, even though he was in the air assault part, and I was airborne. You know, people were always like, hey, man, what are you paratroopers? What does the airborne think about air assault? Easy. Too scared to jump, too lazy to walk. Air assault. That's what we think about them. Right? But at the end of the day, they're trigger pullers. They're combat soldiers. So when it's time to go down range, when the balloon goes up, man, they'll be right there, bro. Don't matter how you get there, but when you get there, it's time to fight. Right? And And they're living up to the example the Easy Company set in the Second World War. They wear that patch. And it doesn't say air assault, it says airborne. So they live up to that. So now, man, like maybe we do live in a kinder, friendlier army. I don't know. Bro. I don't know. And Ms. Globe Girl's like, that's taxpayer money. Yeah, getting changed. That's taxpayer money. Brother Dino was saying, holy, last night, Mandrell was telling a very emotional, life-changing moment in his life when little sister Shushu cut in and never let him finish. No, he probably was oversharing. Sometimes you got to do that when they overshare. We got Mandrell on the back chat about to pull him up. Brother Jack, when they get more money legalizing weed and more troops trans make up for less than 1% of America sounds ludicrous. That's a good point. No, I mean, the whole weed thing, you don't want a high, even though, you don't want to say it's cool to get high. I hear you, maybe, but the whole trans thing, you're right. It's very, very small percentage of people out there. So to appease that 1% or whatever it is doesn't make any sense to me. Brother Mandrell's in the building. What's good, fam?
Yeah, what's going on, DL? Yeah, that's me in the chat. That's the account for my my new YouTube. I was sitting here doing work on that, trying to sync my new channel up with StreamYard and the whole nine, because you got to sync it. And I synced the StreamYard to a different account, which wasn't connected to the YouTube account. Then I tried to connect the YouTube account to another. I got confused and I got my wires crossed up. It's ridiculous. Like there's no clear-cut instructions on what to do with that. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like I got like 5 accounts now and I only need like 3.
Bro.
So I was like, it's
I'm on the same thing. I'm trying to get downrange linked to my StreamYard. And I'm like, what is going? If I had me, I'd have pulled it out.
I had the same thing. Yeah. I was like, what is going on? What? Because I scheduled I'm doing a special live tomorrow, right? And I was trying to schedule it. That's how I caught it. I tried to schedule it last night and it went to the wrong YouTube channel because StreamYard let you go, okay, would you like to check it out on your YouTube channel? I said, yeah. And it took me to another page. Like, this ain't it. Hold up.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I was like, what's going on here? I did that like 4 times. I was like, what is happening? So I had to figure it out. Then I had to look up a video. I was like, okay, you want to get permissions on your YouTube channel to another account? I said, yeah, I want to do that. Yeah, okay, this is how you do it. I said, finally, somebody who knows what they're doing. So I did that. I was like, oh man, that didn't work for me. What am I doing wrong?
I know exactly what you're doing. Because again, people are like, man, I love the political stuff, man. I'm able to move stuff over there, but I'm like, I still can't do it live with my StreamYard. I'm gonna figure it out too, man. So if you figure it out before me, let me know. I
just figured it out last night. Like it was like 1:30 a.m. And of course, it's like, okay, well, give us 24 hours to figure this out and give you permission to stream. I was like, I gotta wait 24 hours. It's 1:30, so I gotta wait till 1:30 tomorrow morning. But then I checked just a few minutes ago. I was like, okay, apparently I got the permission because now I've actually scheduled scheduled it, and it looks like it's on the page too. So I mean, if y'all don't mind, everybody, if you don't mind me asking your audience to check for me,
please, go right ahead.
Okay, everyone, I'm putting a link to a URL in the chat. Please click that and see if you see something scheduled under the live category. That would be a great help.
Yeah, I'm about to look right now while we're talking, and then we'll get into your thoughts on this North Korea thing, bro. I can't wait to hear what you have to say. Yeah, let's get started. That's upcoming. Let's get started. It's in there.
Yeah. It's kind of a test live, to see if to get me used to live streaming. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because there's going to be a lot of pre-recorded content, especially because I told you I'm starting off with fitness. I gained 50 pounds on purpose, and you always watch me work out. You watch every exercise that I do, let alone every workout, every single exercise that I do, everything that I eat. You're all going to see that. And you're going to watch me lose 50 pounds. Okay? So there'll be no excuses after this. I don't know what to do. Watch the series and do what I did.
Yep, there you go. We'll see.
You don't have, there. And my thing is, I'm a lead by example type person, lead from the front, And so I figured what better way to prove that I'm not full of shit than to put myself out there, put myself in this position, and work my way out?
Yeah, you're not gonna prove you're not full of shit, but I get what you're saying. You can still be full of shit and just get stuff done.
Wow, DL.
Come on, bro. Don't serve it up like that, man. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, that was softball. That was softball. I got roasted last night, too. At the end of the show, man, yeah, they roasted me. Yeah, they did. At the end of the show, they did.
Well,
to their credit, they got me good last night.
That's what it is. And Miss Globe Girl's like, yep, it's there live in 21 hours. So
Thank
we
you,
good
Miss
to
Globe
go.
Girl. Please bless me, everyone, if you could, with a subscription. The support would be much appreciated.
Hell yeah. And tell all your friends to go support too. So, all right, bro, what's up with what's your thoughts on PV2, Travis King?
Okay, Private, he's a PV2. He's an E2. He's clearly stationed in South Korea, right?
He was.
Why did he go into North Korea? I want to know why.
Well, we read the article. Like, he got himself into some local trouble in South Korea. He spent like almost 3 months in a South Korean jail. The locals. So when I was trying to explain to folks like how difficult that is, like that's not normal. At least it wasn't normal in my army. If you got in trouble, the MPs would normally come and get you, and the military would deal with you. But apparently whatever he did was serious enough that they locked him up for almost 3 months there. He got out, and the military, I guess the MPs took him to the airport, put him in line to get on the plane, and they left him. And then he jumped in a line to go on a tour group to the DMZ where he did what he did. So that's where we are now. Now, y'all need to remember something. Vandrell's a Green Beret. He's this SF, a lot of training. SF guys are mental, bro. Like, things have to make sense to them. You look what he's doing right now. He's just laughing.
Fuck him. That's all I mean, what do you want me to say to that? You're too stupid to be in my army. Okay, how do you mess around and go to the literal hell on earth? And people, North Korea is hell on earth. You can do all this complaining about America. America's not the greatest country in the world. America's this. I'm tired of that. Yeah. You could have been born in North Korea. It could have been worse. There's times, if you look at North Korea by orbital satellite at night, right? Everything's lit up. China's lit up. South Korea's lit up. So there's all these, it's like Christmas out there, right? Except for this one spot. That's just, it's like a black hole right there in the middle of all that light. Want to know what that place is? North Korea. There's no electricity. The whole country is blacked out. The whole country is blacked out. Listen, these people don't have food to eat. All they have is a minefield and a big dam that they put the dam up. But when they put the dam up, it stopped the flow of water down to the land that they used to plant their crops on. So now that's dried up. They can't even plant enough crops to feed their whole country. These people eat, like, the stories that come out of people who escape North Korea are astounding. There's a guy who says he ate someone else's vomit. There's a woman who says she was watching a kid sitting there with his guts hanging out because his stomach had burst open out of hunger. Listen, if you say something, say, man, I don't like what the military is doing, that's a jail sentence. And if they found you guilty of treason, not only you, but your children and your children's children go to jail. 3 generations go to jail. That means your kid is born, they're in jail, and they stay for their entire life. A life sentence in jail for your grandchildren who did nothing wrong. Your children also, who did nothing wrong. Your wife, who did nothing wrong.
Bro, y'all need to understand something. If you don't have a picture of the leader in your house in a predominant place, it has to be up a certain height.
Yeah.
If you don't have that, right? If you don't have a picture of the leader in your house, they'll lock you up for that, bro.
Yes.
If you got it in your, if it's not in the right, no, it's not up high enough, they lock you up for that, bro.
Prison for years.
for years. Like you said, not just you.
Yeah,
like all
not
y'all
just
going.
you, your wife going, everybody in that house. Number everyone in that house going to jail. Everybody, not for a couple of months, a couple of weeks, no, years. Okay, listen, you can't say anything against the military nor their leader. If you get caught watching an American movie, because that's a hot ticket item over there, American films, bootleg American films, that's a hot ticket over there. It's entertainment because their TV only has one channel, and it's all propaganda all day about how great the great nation of North Korea. You should hear it, dude. Watch some of these documentaries. Like Vice has a documentary that's brilliant. That's what I would recommend your audience to watch. Just look up Vice. Just type in YouTube Vice North Korea documentary. Enjoy, people. It's amazing. Okay, so listen, it is the literal hell on earth. Literally, I would not wish that on any, even my enemies. I wouldn't put them there, DL. That's fucked up. That's inhumane. I'm going to sentence you to 2 years in North Korea to do what? Just live there. I don't have to go to jail. No, just live in North Korea for 2 years. That's inhumane, in my opinion. In my opinion, it's inhumane.
That is that. Yeah,
It's inhumane.
I don't. And again, I don't feel sorry for dude, bro. I don't feel sorry for dude at all.
Him, I don't feel sorry. Bye.
Yeah, and like Miss Glow Girl, she's like, could that army soldier have been so dumb that he didn't know he was running North Korea go army? I see what you're trying to do.
I see what you're trying to say. You try see Miss Globe Girl.
you ain't.
I would like to invite you to cam up on my show tomorrow. I've never seen you cam up like ever. Okay. However, I would love to invite you to my chat, or just come up now. Come up now to deals and join us on the panel, because I see what you're doing. You're trying to be nice, but some people don't need to be nice to. You can't be nice to everybody. Yes, dumb as rocks. That's what he is. Yeah. Don't feel sorry for him. Yeah, he was doing wrong. Yeah. He was doing wrong, and he tried to get away with something, clearly. And look where he ended up.
Look where he ended up. Casual Germs jumped on when you said what you said. He was laughing when you said F him.
Yeah,
that's what that's for, man. Shout out to him.
Bye.
He's like, F him. And I'm with you on that. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, why is America so concerned? So what? If you're that stupid, you get what you get. Like, bro, what do you do? The work, Mandrill. He was in trouble. He knew when he got to, they were gonna put him on a plane to Fort Bliss, right? And you know, people were thinking like they were probably gonna out process him. So what was the worst you think he was looking at once he got back to Fort Bliss for being locked up in, you know, the South Korean legal system, doing whatever he did? What do you think the worst he was looking at?
He was looking at an Article 15 and or a letter of reprimand, or both. Number one, and they're gonna kick him out. He's going to get discharged. You know, you're out of the army, dude. I mean, you went to jail in a foreign country, one of our allied nations, when things aren't the most stable with us in South Korea. And it's because of North Korea and China. You know, because China is trying to sweeten the deal, make a sweet deal with them constantly, but they haven't left America yet. But then you have an American soldier go over there, act a fool, and do this. Bro, you can't embarrass us like that. And let you get away with it. That's why he spent time we allowed him to spend time in that prison over there. We had to give him something. Yeah, that's probably what it was. Like, hey, we caught one of your soldiers doing this. What you do with him? Put him in jail. Hey, do what you do with him.
Yeah.
All right. You know, keep him there. Hey, he's yours now. I mean, now when you're done with him out of prison, give him to us. We'll take care of it. We'll punish him from there. I don't think he was going to get his get out, and probably unable to join the U.S. military, because I forget what it's called. But you can do something bad enough to where no branch of the service will accept you again. Yeah. You can do that. You know what I mean? And this is probably what he's looking at, just being a civilian for the rest of his life. I mean,
yeah, I was even saying, like, he was looking at a discharge, and you know, I was saying how hard it is to get a dishonorable. Like, they don't want to give you that. They might process you out, and it's like it's dishonorable, but it'll change in 6 months if you stay out of trouble or whatever. But I'm like, I really don't think he was looking at that. That would have been like the absolute worst case scenario.
Yeah, dishonorable discharge, because dishonorable, you can't even get your VA benefits. You don't get the GI Bill. You don't get your VA benefits. They completely disavow you with a dishonorable discharge. You are disavowed, and you know. I mean, again, like DL said, they don't want to do that because it's a knock on them. Like, okay, this guy went through basic training. He went through all this training. He didn't have the discipline to do better than that, that's the way it looks on the military. So, like Dale said, they might have given him an other than honorable discharge. You know, there's honorable, general, other than honorable, dishonorable.
Look how many levels it is to get to dishonor. They don't want to do that. But even still, yeah, but think about it, even if that's what he was looking at, running to North Korea was the last thing. You talk about out of the frying pan into the volcano. You're like this dude. Like this dude.
Exactly. All right. You're asking me. Yeah. What do you think? All right. Should we go get him? No. Why?
Right. And Ms. Glogger has a pretty good question. Like it couldn't have been that bad if they were sending him back on a commercial flight. Right. It's not like he was some sort of murderer. Like they would have. Right. And even with this dude, I'm surprised they didn't just take him down to Kimpo, put him on a C-17, or take him down to Busan or wherever the Air Force is over there, put him on a C-17 and off he goes. But again, that's money. The military have so many seats. They get their rates or whatever. I can't believe he got on the line and did what he did, man. That was just dumb.
And plus they had this deal with American Airlines too. Like here's the thing, honestly, when we deployed, we flew American Airlines. We flew commercial. You know what I mean? A lot of times, you know.
Northwest took me to the war. When I went in 1990, it was Northwest. It took me to the war.
Right. It was that. And then, of course, other times there's a C-17 you fly out when they don't want anyone to know anything. You know, so.
Yeah, and I'm old school, so I came back on C5. I came home on a C5. The rest of the unit came back on Northwest. I came home on a C5. But I was glad. I'm like, you sure we going home, or they gonna take us somewhere? Like, psych, just kidding. Put this on. We dropping you off right here. Like, no.
What's with the shoes? Hey, yeah. By the way, thanks for reminding me. Put that on.
Yeah, put that on, bro.
Go ahead and put that on now.
We're gonna drop you off somewhere.
You're jumping in about 25 minutes.
Sit, bro. Hey, man, I was short, man.
Go ahead and get your gear on, DL. You know what I'm saying? Man. We got about 25 minutes. Yeah.
You going with them boys. Oh, right. I was short, too.
Come on over here and get this JMPI.
That's it, man. Miss AKA ladies in the building. What's good, love? How you feeling? Like, hey, y'all. Yeah, we over here talking. We talking crazy. Miss Globe Girl, he wasn't in chains and shackles on American Airlines, though. No, he wasn't. He was not.
No. He was not. Miss Globe Girl, I'd like to have a conversation with you. Not a debate, a conversation. Because you in the chat going ham.
I mean, I like it. She keeps me on my toes.
She's at me though. You know what I'm saying?
She's at me too, man. Hey, man, bro, what are you talking about, man? You better, hey, you know what it is.
Yeah, I come in. I know that's not Mandrill, even though all he sees is a small picture. What did I do to you? You know what I'm saying? That's what I be thinking.
She don't play, boy. Like I say, over here, she don't play at all, man. But you know what I mean? I got respect for her. Miss AK, they be keeping me straight. Sister Candace, they be keeping me straight, straight. Leia Navoa be over here too, keeping everybody straight. You know what I mean? So also, it is what it is.
You're thinking to the ladies in the combat arms. No, I don't think women should be allowed to join combat arms. I don't think so.
I think they should. I think I don't have a problem with it.
You get a perfect analogy. Say the sniper shoots the woman, the whole unit's fucked. Because we're not leaving without her. Period. We're not leaving without her alive. If she passes away, the sniper did it. Okay, we're not leaving without her, which means all of us are now at risk for one person. And it's the human heart. Not only is that's not a brother in arms, that's a sister at arms. You know what I'm saying? And it's a woman. We have a natural need to protect them, no matter what. Especially soldiers, of good character. You know what I'm saying? We're going to figure this out and get her out of there. Now, how many of us perish along the way? Don't know, don't care. And that's the thing. That's the problem. We're not going to care how many of us have to die to get her out of there. So,
I mean, I hear what you're saying.
Just her being there, that's a weakness. And then a woman making it to the 75th Ranger Regiment or to the Green Berets, and heaven forbid if she actually tries to go to CAG. CAG is Delta Force, people. Yeah, Combat Application Group. It's another name for Delta Force. You're not gonna make it to Delta Force. No woman is. I don't. DL.
But let's keep it real though. Let's keep it
You're not
100.
making
If
through
Delta needs a female for a mission, they'll go get one. So
thank you. I'll go get exactly. And you're there for a specific purpose. You know what I mean? You're not gonna join that unit because no woman on this planet is strong enough to make it through that. You're not. It's just clear. Even through Green Beret training, no woman's strong enough to make it through that. You're not.
you just can't meet the standard. It's a high standard.
You're right. You can't meet the standard. The 75th Ranger Regiment. You have an idea how tough you got to be. How many men fail that?
Yeah,
You know what I'm
alphas.
saying?
How many
Right.
hardcore alpha dudes go out there and they don't make it the first day? I mean,
Right.
dudes who like you're talking about the best of the best. These are the guys who always win, and they go through selection and they're out within 18 hours.
Yeah. Green Beret selection. How many people are out in the first 5 hours? I mean, how many people just gone? 5 hours later, it's like, yo, wasn't it more? I didn't think that many people quit. And that's what you're thinking. Like, I knew people was gonna drop off, but that many already? And you didn't think in mind, people, you're so busy doing what you're supposed to be doing, you don't notice how many people are quitting. But people are dropping like flies, and it's like, and then these women who made it through Ranger School, the amount of help they had was astounding.
Right.
It
It's not
really
like we
was.
had a flood of women walking around scrolled
Right.
out. You know,
it's
it's
just a
just
handful of them. You know what I'm saying? And I think I've only actually met one who had a Ranger tab. I've only met one woman with a Ranger tab. But even that, I mean, she's walking around. You can tell she's proud of herself. She's very pleased with herself. Like, yeah, but you had way more breaks. You got to leave, go eat in between
Right.
phases, and in between weeks, like on a weekend, you got to leave. You didn't go through all the sleep deprivation and hunger that everyone else did. See, for men, there was no breaks. 7 days a week, you got one MRE a day. Make it happen.
make it happen. We got brother XFO in the building. What's good, fam? Good to see you. You know what I mean? Miss Globe Girl, Miss AKA Lady, they ready to team up on you, bro. Hey, that might not be a bad thing. But it's I'm like, wait,
I
that didn't
do
come
what
out
I
right.
see. Listen, Miss Globe Girl. I do what I do from where I do it. See all that attitude, Miss Globe Girl. Come
That's
on.
Navy though. That's just Navy, man.
It
I mean,
is.
how
It is.
else you gonna talk with your name on your butt? That's just how that works out, man.
Sounds
I mean,
like a personal decision, Mandrill. Would you leave a brother in arms? No. And I'm not leaving a sister in arms either. That's what I'm telling you. If I got a woman on my team, I'm probably gonna die because I'm not leaving her there. I'm not. Like, even if I have to die, I don't care about my life. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming to get you.
my thing is this, you know, can women fight? Yes, they can fight, you know, but I wanted to paint that picture because
No.
especially American men, Westernized men, there is a difference. They're going to go that extra mile, you know, where if the sniper gets me and I'm still conscious, I'm telling guys to stay where they are. Don't come out here. You know what I mean? Don't stay there. I mean, they're going to hit me again and I'm going to yell. I'm still going to say, stay where you are. I'm done.
Exactly.
He already got me.
Yeah, he
already
got me. I'm dead. No need for y'all to die too.
But if
You
it's
know
a
what I'm saying?
female, you screaming.
Yeah. She's even Miss Gold Girl. Even if you're on my team, God forbid you get hit by a sniper, and you're telling me to stay away. I'm not doing that.
Now they come.
I'm not, Miss Gold Girl. I'm not leaving you out there under any circumstances. And no, I'm not painting a narrative that women have no purpose in the military. I didn't say that. I said combat arms. You should not, because you're a liability, and not because of anything physical or mental with you as a woman. It's us. You don't understand, Miss Globe Girl. Men love women, even the gays.
Men are
You know,
hardcore enough to let that
right.
to sit there and be cool watching a woman make the ultimate sacrifice. They're not hardcore enough to do that. Maybe that'll change, but it hasn't changed yet. So that's just one of those things that could, again, let's think about it. That's one individual that gets hit that can compromise an entire platoon. And like Mandrill said, you will have a good 80, 90% of those guys without even thinking they're just running out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so the only thing that's going to save them is the fact that the sniper can't reload fast enough, or he's going to run out of ammo. And then finally they'll drag this female soldier to safety. But how many men did you lose?
Yeah, and that's the problem, DL. That's the problem. Listen, because I know myself, I'm not leaving you out there. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. If there's a sniper, okay, let's hunker down behind something and game plan this thing out. Okay. Where did that shot come? First of all, where did that shot come from? That's number one. Number one question. If you're dealing with a sniper, people, number one question, where did the shot come from? You know what I mean? And if the sniper's smart, what I would do would pick an urban environment where it echoes a lot.
It echoes a lot. And I want to be in a situation where I can move.
Yeah.
I can fire 2 or 3 rounds and then move. So now you think the rounds are coming from this direction, but I've moved. I've placed myself somewhere else. So now, you just constantly keep them confused. And that's a whole nother topic. Hopefully you guys never find yourself in a situation where a skilled sniper is trying to get you, because I mean, if a sniper is there, but that is the most effective weapon systems on the battlefield, always has been, always will be. A good sniper, bro, you need another sniper to get him.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good sniper is something. That's something to deal with, man. Listen,
that's a skilled sniper,
right? Because guys like me, I'm an action guy, right? I'm an assaulter. I work far better in fast-paced environments. Fast-paced, and the more pressure's on me, the more I focus. That's my AO. Snipers, it's a slow burn. Getting to that sniper is a slow game. And it has to be. That's the only way you counter a sniper. And then you have to look out for traps. They said, listen, people, DL told you, you do not want to be in a situation where you got to deal with a good sniper. Because there's some rules. First of all, figure out where that shot came from. Your number one telltale is where's the sun. Because the sniper is going to keep the sun at his back. Always. The sniper is going to move as the sun moves. So you only got so much time. You know what I'm saying? And plus, you don't know where the traps he set are. He does. Yeah, so you got to look out for that too.
God forbid it's not a pair. If it's a pair sniper, Hathcock did that. I think it was Carlos Hathcock, him and a buddy of his, 2 snipers. I think they held off. Was it it was larger than the company element, but just the 2 of them, they stopped. Like they stopped their was it a battalion? I think it was like some ungodly amount of soldiers. They stopped them. 2 snipers stopped these dudes.
Yeah,
it's in his book.
Yeah, they'll do it. The skilled snipers will do it. And American snipers, forget it. Forget it. Those are people talking about, I think China could beat us. I'm like, you're out of your mind.
No one trains harder than the U.S. Army.
Mind. You think any army is gonna come over here and or no, you're not. We lost Afghanistan. No, we didn't. Actually, the whole thing that you see on the news, that was all political nonsense. It was propaganda. Operationally, we destroyed them. The Taliban and Al Qaeda, done and done. Iraq, there was nothing and no one there who could stop us. We just ran over Iraq. I mean, it was just like
they don't want to smoke. No one wants to deal with America.
You do not want smoke with America.
No one wants to smoke with America. You know who thought they could handle the smoke with America? Who? Wagner thought they could handle the smoke from America. They ran into Americans one time. It was a buzzsaw in Syria. In Syria.
All right. They found out, didn't they?
Oh man, they found out, bro. Yeah. And they talk about it to this day. Like Russia gave them medals. Like y'all got buzzed up, bro. Here goes some medals. The Syrians and those mercs, they really thought they was gonna bring some pain on a small contingent of SF, some Rangers, and some infantry guys. And they got the full force of the U.S. Military might.
Yeah,
go look it up. Don't take our word for it. There's some great videos about it.
DL, they decided to pick on Rangers. What are you thinking? What you think was going to happen? Rangers, they got those medals. I guarantee you, they got those medals for surviving. That's what those medals for. It ain't that you did a good job. You're alive. Yeah, congratulations, man. Let me award you for that.
Here you go, bro. Here you go. Because they got annihilated. And they did it twice. And it was the dumbest thing ever. And that's a whole nother story. Miss Globe Girl, I never wore my name on my butt. Like she was in a different Navy. Y'all shut the hell up with all that woman bashing y'all have done over the past year. I don't listen.
See, Miss Globe Girl, this is why we need to talk. I do not bash women. I hold women in the highest esteem. I do. It's just when I think about it operationally, and I put myself in those shoes in that situation. Even you're trying so hard to be my adversary, but you're not. Anyway, even you, if you were out there, or Miss AKA lady, I'm not leaving you out there. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care how long I got to think and figure this out. I'm getting you out of there. Which, again, puts not only me, but DL and everyone else out there, we're all in danger now.
I mean, look at Black Hawk Down. Look at Black Hawk Down, right? So you had the pilots who were down, and you had the two you were down to like one pilot, and you had the two SF guys. I think they were Delta that were calling for permission. Yeah, because they wanted to speed rope. Yes, they wanted to speed. They waited. They kept asking for permission. They like denied. Finally, they were given the okay because everyone knew that they weren't going to get them out of there. They didn't have enough ammo on them. They knew how that was going to end. That was a one-way mission.
It was only 2 guys against a city.
And held them off for them.
The entire city is coming after you. There's only 2 of you. You do know that it's probably going to be it could be some time before we can come back for you. They're like, yeah, we know. You want to go in anyway?
Dudes, yes. And those dudes went in. They did it. They were awarded Congressional Medals of Honors, obviously, right? They still managed to save that pilot even though they lost their lives. Now, here's the thing. If that had been a female pilot, they wouldn't have waited for orders. They just would have dropped the rope, speed rope. The captain of the captain of the helicopter was like, man, you go. Here's some extra ammo. Here go our stuff. Go. Exactly. It wouldn't have been no question. They just would have went right away. So
and sniper rifle. I'm like, wait, bro, that's really that you going into that with that that kit? You ain't got the kit for this. He knew it. They knew they were gonna die, and they went in anyway. They knew they weren't gonna survive that deal. They
knew that. Yeah, of course they knew that. And they knew the pilot he wasn't mobile. So they knew they couldn't just get down there and, well, maybe we could be mobile. Maybe we can kind of, better our odds. They couldn't go anywhere. They knew it. They're like, we're going to die here. And Ms. Gloger's like, I would want you to leave me. Of course you would. Just like we would say the same thing. But Americans aren't doing that.
Yeah. Here's the thing. You talk about women. You accuse me of women bashing, but Ms. Globe girl, I don't have the heart to leave a woman out there wounded like that. That's one of the ABCs of me. It's that right there. That's not in me. I can't look at you wounded and not do anything about it.
And I tell people this all the time. Like people talk about, being downrange or dealing with this and dealing with that. Like what you see, right? It's for me is more the sounds, not what I'm seeing, but what I'm hearing, what I'm smelling. So I'm sitting there listening to, you're hearing this female trying to tough it out, but every time she gets hit, she's gonna make noise. She's gonna, you know what I mean? And it's the way we were programmed and raised now. Maybe that's changed. Maybe, maybe the young guys now wouldn't have a problem. They'd be like, all right, Ms. Globe girl, we'll make sure we'll put you in for a silver star. We're out of here. Maybe, but in the military, in the army that I served in, and certainly in the army that Mandrell served in, that wasn't the case. And guys would really go the extra mile simply because the person is female. And I get it. But again, even with all that said, I don't have a problem with females in combat arms missions. I don't. Mandrell does. It's other people out there who do. But I acknowledge the reason. I get it. Yes, it's going to cost more casualties probably in certain situations. I accept it. But, most people don't, man. Most people don't. So, man, let's wrap this up, bro. What are your final thoughts?
I can't look at a woman hurt like that. Like, it gets my goat when women get beat by their boyfriends or husbands or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't even like hearing the stories, DL, because I want to get active.
Yep.
On the dudes, you know what I'm saying? I mean, so imagine a woman sitting there shot in the gut or the leg. You got to hit him in the gut though if you're a sniper. Because hit him in the leg, you can still drag yourself out there or whatever. Yep. You're still mobile. But in the gut, there's so much pain in that area. You don't want to move your legs. You don't want to move your torso. You just want to lay there. And it's very intense pain, and that's how they trap you. They use you as a trap. Yep. It's the sniper's game is a game of intellect. It's chess. It's 4D chess. It ain't checkers and not even regular chess. Snipers and mortar teams. A dialed in mortar team is as deadly as it comes because you can't see you don't know where the mortars are coming from. They're too far away. You know what I'm saying? And their math is going to be spot on, and there's nothing you can do.
I would imagine now they have don't they have augmented targeting? Aren't they using satellite based stuff now so they can really put?
We are. Everyone else, you know what I'm saying? Everybody else focusing, oh, they got the supersonic missiles. Yeah, but you don't know we got to counter that. We have nothing that you know of.
Yeah.
We're not going to let that go unanswered. Stop. Really?
Man, that's crazy.
Nearly over $500 billion a year budget, and we're just going to let that drop? Stop.
Nah. Yeah,
stop.
On,
you know what I'm saying? Stop playing. Why aren't you worried? Why would I be? I got our military, nothing but confidence in them. Believe me. And then I've been to DARPA. Yeah, they don't need your help. They don't even need your confidence. They're good. We're good.
There it is, right there, man. So, and your final thoughts on this Travis King thing, bro? Wait, I'm gonna give you your own screen for this because I want everybody to hear you good.
Final thoughts on Travis King. Yeah, bro. I mean, how you got in the military anyway? I don't know. Being that dumb, but if you die there, may you rest in shit. Because you've embarrassed me, you've embarrassed America, you've embarrassed the Army. You embarrassed your family because now I'm looking at them cross-eyed. Like, I mean, how do you raise somebody that dumb? What were you doing? Some people are just too stupid to live, people. They are. It's just, I mean, so for me, it's like, 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. I don't want the poor fellow to be tortured like that because he's in North Korea. That's torture. It is. Wow. So you talking about people who have no idea what's going on in the rest of the world. They have no clue that there are subway tunnels and digital television, popsicles, Skittles. They don't know that these things exist. It really is like the Truman Show over there. And they can't even ask about it, otherwise they go to jail. In fact, the military can just pick you up off the street and take you to jail. And it is illegal for you to ask them why they're taking you to jail. It's illegal for you to ask the police why they're taking you to jail, even though they didn't tell you why they're taking you. They just grabbed you and took you off. Can't even ask why. See, it's that bad. So to you, I've said what I had to say, fella. Bye. America, don't go get him. Leave him. He brought it on himself. He decided to go there. So, no sweat off our backs. That's what I got to say about him. Jeez,
man, Miss Goldberg I'm trying to type and talk and all that. I can't wait for the Navy to mess up.
He got there through the Army. That's how, Miss Globe Girl. No, he did not. The Army was trying to get him back home. He left and went somewhere else. No one's taking a tour to North Korea. Why? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? I don't want to take the chance of getting over there and getting lost. Nope.
Man, that's
like that chick who got her locked up in Dubai because she didn't know the laws. Yet I don't want to make a mistake and break the laws in North Korea. I don't want to do that. I'm not taking the chance. I don't want to take a chance of looking in the wrong direction. You looked in the wrong direction. You shouldn't have looked at that. We're taking you to jail. See, I'm fighting. You ain't taking me to jail in North Korea. I'm dead because y'all got to shoot me.
And they will.
I'm not going to a North Korean prison. You have to shoot me.
Yeah, and he will.
He will. And they will.
They'll take care of you, bro. Like I said, the last dummy that went over there decided he's going to go to the floors he ain't supposed to be on and take, pictures off the wall. Yeah, they sent him back, bro. His brain wasn't working.
He deployed himself.
He deployed himself, and he did though. But the last guy to do it he came home brain dead. That's what happened to the last dude. Yeah. The last American citizen who played with North Korea came home brain dead. So like it is what it is. I'm not wishing that on this guy, but what he did was stupid. And like I said, there's reports that said that he was laughing as he ran across the border. I bet he ain't laughing now. And no, SEAL Team 6 is not coming to get him. No, we're not sending Delta in there to get him. They can have him. We're not going to risk the lives of brave Americans to go after some dumb. Sorry, y'all. That's my take on that.
And President Biden is too senile to
he don't even know what's going on.
He don't even know exactly. How did y'all vote for someone who clearly has dementia? I don't understand
because the other guy, bro, it wasn't a vote for Biden. It was a vote against the other guy.
Trump. It was. You're right. It was an anti-Trump vote.
Man, anybody, but that's the dude that could beat him, and he did. So that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. Miss Kayla, he's like, dude, from a few years ago. Yeah, I'm talking about the guy. This was years ago. The guy went to North Korea. In North Korea, he went into a floor that didn't exist. We weren't supposed to go to. He was doing what stupid kids do. They call them stupid kids, but he was a grown up, and he went and he stole some stuff off the wall. They went to the airport and snatched him up before he can get on the plane, and that was it. That was it. They locked him up. Now, this King guy, it's illegal to do what he did. It's illegal to enter North Korea without permission. So he's going to have to go through some sort of trial or whatever. They're going to lock him up for a little bit. No, that trial over. Right. They already did it?
Yeah, it's done. Come on, DL.
Yeah.
His trial was over the second he crossed the border, that trial was over. Guilty.
Yeah. But they're going to have to go through the puppet court. Yeah. They're going to go through the whole puppet court.
North Korea doesn't have to do that. Now, if he's American, so they will make an example of him. You're right.
Yes.
You're right. Yes. And they're going to execute that dude.
Nah, they're not going to execute him. They're just going to beat him.
What are you going to do?
They're just going to beat him. They're going to use him for propaganda purposes. But again, he doesn't have a lot of value to him. So they're going to do whatever they're going to do to him. They're going to get him on film. They're going to get him to say the stuff. They're going to do all that stuff. In America, when this happens. How
do you do that? You went to the border of North Korea. What are you thinking?
I was thinking, but I tell people this. When it happens, guys, I don't care. I'm not going to talk about it
either.
In fact, the next time I do a show talking about this topic, I want to talk about stuff that you can do as an American to help veterans who need your help in this country. Here in Florida, how many, there are tons of veterans living in the woods out here. There's so many homeless veterans out here. There are jobless veterans out here. They're struggling to take care of their family. These are the people we need to be talking about. I'm going to do another show. I'm just waiting on some numbers. I'm waiting on some information. Once I get these numbers, I'm going to come back on here, and this will be the last time I talk about this Travis King thing, because these are the Americans we need to be helping. We don't need to be helping some dum-dum who wants to run across the DMZ. That's stupid. We need to help these people here in Florida that literally live in the woods. They're vets. These are people who have earned medals. You got silver stars, bronze stars. Guys who have served in different theaters of war. You got these people out here who have served their country and served their country well, living in the woods. They don't have enough food to eat, not enough money to buy food to eat. They can't support their families. There are men out here who considering deleting themselves because they feel that they're failures. These are the people we need to help because they were there for us. We need to be there for them. I could care less about this dumbass over in the DMZ who's afraid to come home and just take his medicine. That was bottom line. They're just going to put you out. Go back to wherever it is you came from. But no, you're going to do this and everyone wants to be up in arms and talk all this stuff. Man, leave him over there. Don't even talk to the North Koreans. Like I said, if I were them, if I'm talking to them people, all I got is his paperwork. Hey, get these papers to the dude for me. That's his discharge. You know what I mean? So he knows dishonorable, all that on top. Give him those papers for us. Y'all keep that knuckle here as long as y'all want. I have zero sympathy for that guy. But we want to go out here and we want to help Americans. We want to help those who that true 1% that was out here serving our country. Let's go help them. So when I do the next stream, I'm going to have links so you can go out there and actually help instead of just saying thank you for your service. People tell me that shit all the time, man. Drill. Thank you for your service.
Same here.
I don't even believe them half the time, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I don't even believe them.
Neither do
unless they served or they're like, their family members served. Then I'll talk to those people. But those other folks say it because they think they have to. You really want to thank me for my service? Go help a vet. That's my rant. I'm done. That's my rant.
I don't blame you, man. I agree. I'm the same way. I don't. When people say thank you for your service, I don't believe you. And by the way, you'll see this icon as me from time to time. This is the icon. Yeah,
I can remember that now. Now I know it's on. It's on. Miss Globe Girl. Yeah, we don't even know if he's still alive. Dude in a ditch with holes in him right about now. Facts.
Oh, well. I don't care. Miss Globe Girl, I still do not care.
You're like, just don't send me no red pill link. Come on.
It's not a red pill channel, Miss Globe Girl. It's not. I think you might enjoy it. I think I'm going to have conversations that you probably would like to be involved in other than just in the chat. Okay? Sweet mother. All this talk with the women about how brave women are, Miss Globe Girl. Women are strong. Women are brave. No, you're not. You're not even brave enough to come up on a panel and have a conversation. So how brave can you be on the battlefield?
Those are the words of Mandrell. I ain't talking. I think, hey, if you want to get out there, you want to go down range, you want to get into the trenches, go right ahead. Go right ahead. I ain't mad at you. You know what I mean? But it does have an effect. But that's it. We're done here, man. So Mandrell already told you he has his new page. Please go over there and check it out. You still rocking out with Black Man Unfiltered?
Yeah. We're gonna be there. Shishu and I are gonna be over there for a while longer until we figure out what we actually want to do with the channel. Because it's gonna be about fitness and health for right now, right? We're gonna start off with that because that's something that people need to do. And Shushu and I are all about teaching people, right? So, and I'll say, okay, when it comes to losing weight or getting fit, why don't I just show them how to do that by doing it myself? So I ate myself to where I am now, and I'm going to lose 50 pounds. You guys are going to watch. And so that way I'm showing you how I did it. Yeah, you don't have to do it that way if you don't want to. There's a million ways to do it, but this is one way that you can. So, and other things are going to be on like mental health, how to master the art of letting go. When should you not speak? Things like that. You know what I'm saying? Like these past 2 weeks, last night we talked about the afterlife, right? And we brought actual scientists in, show videos from actual scientists saying like, okay, here's what we think, here's what it is, blah, blah, blah. And then the week before that, last week, we were talking about is the Holy Ghost just a ghost story, And we brought in scientists where they're showing brain scans of what's going on with the human brain when they're having like spiritual experiences, or extra or paranormal experiences. The part of the conscious brain was nearly completely turned off, which is also the part of the brain that governs reason and logic. The entire rest of the brain, it was the 4th of July. Like it was amped up from scale of 1 to 10. It was on like a 32. So scientists are like, okay, there's something going on here. They don't know what it is yet, but they're like, there's something going on. But anyway, it's interesting stuff, people. I mean, and we always cover receipts.
Yeah, that's what's up. So make sure, man, and definitely be hitting me up, man. So I'll be reminding folks, man, and I'm gonna be over there, man. As soon as you start going, I'm definitely gonna jump in over there, man, and support. That's what we do. Miss Glow Girl, I never said any of those things. Miss AKA lady throws up the tomatoes, and Miss Glow Girl, she was like, yeah, throw them tomatoes right in the back of Mandrell's head.
See, both of you, those
they
two,
love
man.
you, boy.
They love you. They come and bring me the heat every time. So tomorrow's gonna be a special live stream. Really, it's just a test stream. You know what I'm saying? So I can learn the ins and outs of the whole thing, of what DL does, So I'm going to talk about various different topics, you know what I mean? A little about religion. Freezy's going to be joining me at first, so I don't have to be there by myself and monologue. I don't think I have that kind of talent like DL does. But DL has a talent for it. I can sit here and like watch DL by himself do a whole video, I don't think I'm that interesting though. That's just me.
You got stories, bro. We'll drag it out. You got stories, man. So definitely be over there. I'm gonna be traveling, but I'll be on my phone, bro. So I'll make sure I jump in there. And if I can't even from my phone, I'll be able to jump on if you drop a link or something like that, man. So I'll love to come over there.
It'll be in the afternoon. It's gonna start about 2 p.m. Central Time. So it'll be 3 p.m. your time. Yeah, I don't want to clash with Black Man Unfiltered, and he has a barbershop at 8:30. So
all right, that works. So yeah, I'm definitely, because I'll be traveling, but if I can, I'll definitely jump on the phone. And if I miss this one, I'll definitely make the next one for sure. Dude, if you ever want me on the show, I'm there. You already know, bro. All you gotta do is tell me, and I am there. So we are done here, guys. Thank y'all so much for rocking out with us, man. I'm DL Saint. That's Mandrell. And this is the I Really Want to Know podcast. So I'm gonna holler at y'all soon. Peace.
Darn, that's the end.
That was